It ironically contributes to actual real anti-Semitism being fomented. And these guys don't understand that they are now in the echo chamber, not us. But there's a different tool for this, for the record. There's a different reason for why they're writing this article. And I'll tell you what it is. It's not even because they want to like defend Israel. Former Biden press secretary boosted this, to 14 total likes. Hell yeah. Former spokesman for the First Lady, Michael LaRosa. These guys have lost their power in the party, and that's why they're lashing out. It's not just about demanding that the Democrats become pro-Israel. That's one aspect of this story. The other aspect of the story is that third-way neoliberalism is now openly seen as a failed attitude that is responsible for the Democrats losing to Trump twice. They know that the base has rejected third-way neoliberalism. And that's why they're trying to do this. Mr. Piker's depravity doesn't stop there. His misogyny is indistinguishable of the far-right influencers. He believes America deserves, and he praised the Chinese Communist Party, saying, in terms of good governance, there's a lot we can learn from the way they perform out there. Don't know why they said misogyny when talking about this, but what is misogynistic about this other shit? What is this? Oh my God, they're posting this. They're posting bro tips. Oh, that's awesome. Anyway, Mr. Piker is anti-American, anti-women, anti-Western, and anti-Semitic. No Democrat should engage with him. All should seek to push him to the fringe where he belongs. This isn't happening. The Pod Save America team put him on stage at CrookedCon. Abdul El-Sayed, a candidate for Senate in Michigan, tweeted a picture of himself celebrating Piker with a supporter. California Representative Ro Khanna, a possible presidential hopeful, pushed back on X against concerns we raised about anti-Semitism on the far left, declaring his pride in going on Mr. Piker's feed. Mr. Piker chimed in to support him. Handing Mr. Piker a microphone isn't magnanimous or respectful of views that test your priors. Going on a show isn't a sign of bravery or willingness to talk to the other side or to show up in challenging places. All these things do is support a bigot, but few dare to speak that truth. By the way, the guys that are saying I'm a bigot are the guys that I yell at all the time who do so much work to make the Democrats drop any kind of social progressive value. Okay? I'm the bigot, not them. The guys that tell the Democrats, you shouldn't worry about abortion rights. You shouldn't worry about trans rights. You should worry about, continuing to offer bottom of the barrel, third way neoliberal positions to the American public that has no appetite for this whatsoever. Okay? But few dare speak that truth. The only prominent Democrat to call out Mr. Piker's bigotry directly so far is New York Representative Richie Torres. Again, a blossoming figure of progress in the heart of the party that truly understands. Have you guys noticed that Richie Torres shut up about Israel? Very strange how he's also stopped being Israel's biggest attack dog. The other Democrats must follow suit. They bring up Richie Torres' idiotic letter to Twitch. Left-wing anti-Semites are savvier than the Nazi endorsers on the right who marched in Charlottesville and sat for dinner with the president. The anti-Semites of the left cloak their attacks in critiques of the present Israeli leadership. Many American Jews, including us, abhor Israel's current leaders. Criticism of Israeli policy isn't anti-Semitic. The Israeli-Hamas war was a humanitarian catastrophe for Gazans. Settler violence against Palestinians in the West Bank is appalling, but the Jew haters on the left go much further. They use loaded words taught in social justice seminars. Apartheid, genocide, settler colonialism. They push age-old tropes about Jewish wealth and influence, Epstein class, turning tax the rich into tax the Jews, and they replace the word Jew with Zionist, which, by the way, I didn't do this, and I would never do this, and it turns out this was one random psycho and had nothing to do with DSA San Francisco, for the record, that story, but whatever, they're lying anyway, so they'll continue lying. And they replace the word Jew with Zionist. This language is more than offensive. It can beget violence. Last year, an alleged murderer seemingly inspired by left-wing rhetoric killed 2 people for the crime of being at the Capitol Jewish Museum. That's a crazy way to explain that story. Democrats must understand that accepting anti-Semitic figures like Mr. Piker into the mainstream puts Jewish Americans' lives in danger. There's no excuse for putting political tribalism before Jewish safety, or for overlooking hatred to generate likes online, or for failing to act against the surge of anti-Semitism spread by the Hasan Pikers of the world and normalized by too many on the Democratic side. We are all for a big tent, but the Democratic Party needs to draw a line in the sand. Hasan Piker and his fellow Jew haters belong on the other side. So this has H3 written all over it. No, dude, no one about Ethan Klein. This is totally separate. If you think this has anything to do with Ethan Klein, you're out of your... So I'm going to tell you exactly what this is. Okay, sounds like slander. You might have to talk to a lawyer. Man, shut up. No, it's slander, but it doesn't matter. Okay, and you need to understand, this is the most low motion, no motion having ass article that could have ever been written. And the reason for why it's written is not even to defend Israel, which is unpopular in and of itself and idiotic in and of itself. The real reason why they're writing this is because Third Way has completely lost its institutional control, okay? Third Way has lost its institutional control. Kyle agrees with chat. I know. Listen to me. Third Way, for those of you who don't know, which is where this article is written by, this article is written by a bunch of people that work in a think tank called Third Way. Third Way is basically the post-Bill Clinton think tank that was designed to make the Democratic Party into what you despise. Okay, the Democratic Party that you hate was designed carefully by Third Way. Never heard of Third Way before today, by the way. Yes, I've talked about it before. Sometimes I reference Third Way neoliberalism. Many of you are oblivious to what it is. But they are centrist Democrats, okay? They build themselves as centrist Democrats, right? I said Third Way is the exact reason why Democrats lost to incompetent fascists like Trump twice. They can't publicly defend neoliberal corporate centrism, so they lean into another wedge issue, Israel. These guys have no ability to read the room. Neoliberalism and Israel has no base. The reason why they angled this article on the issue of Israel is because they think that if they just say like, oh, this guy's an anti-Israel bigot, which means that he is an anti-Semite, right? That they think they can actually bully politicians from not associating with someone like myself because they're stupid and think that I am almost single-handedly responsible for how much people hate Israel now. Okay? They're dumb. It's that simple. They're stupid. Because if you strike me down, there will be others that will take my place. I am not single-handedly responsible for people hating Israel. You're a idiot if you think that. Do you understand? I'm a megaphone. I'm offering a voice to those who don't get that voice in mainstream media. That's it. And a lot of people can't comprehend that. They think, oh, this guy's like hypnotizing people. It's that simple. They think that I'm like hypnotizing the masses. They don't realize that the masses have come to this conclusion on their own, and they're actively demanding their elected representatives actually abide by the democratic wishes of the masses. You give these people consent to attack you freely. They know they won't be punished, so they continue to lie. This is different from slop tubers. Brother, I don't think you understand. It's irrelevant and worthless. Okay, suing someone for defamation is a long, convoluted, and very expensive process there is no reason to entertain it. There's no reason to engage with it. The reason why I don't take this initiative is because they've already lost the battle. Who gives a They've lost the battle. I spent years and years eating this slander non-stop. What good did that do them? I was deplatformed. I had financial opportunities actively taken away. I was cast aside, made into a pariah because the institutional power that the Zionist lobby had was still intact in the beginning of October 7. But we are not living in that media environment any longer. It doesn't matter. Less than 2 weeks ago, your organization literally had an entire conference to strategize on how to best kick progressives out of the Democratic Party. How are you complaining about progressives not being big tent enough? This is their goal, and they think this is like the Heritage Foundation, but for the Democratic Party. Dark Woke King going full Alex Jones style to defend you in this video.
MAGA Democrats are getting desperate. They're getting desperate. They're beginning to crash out. They're beginning to lash out. So as you know, leadership of the Democratic Party has been an abysmal failure. You have Chuck Schumer, you have Hakeem Jeffries. These are Democrats who I call Diet MAGA Democrats for a reason. They don't really oppose Trump's illegal and offensive war against Iran. They want to see Iran overthrown because they take a tremendous amount of money from the Israel lobby, right? And there's this whole Democratic consultant complex that basically bolsters those kinds of Democrats. These are Democrats that are swimming in corporate money, AI money, Israel lobby money, military industrial complex money, okay? And we just had the perfect encapsulation of this group lashing out. So they decided to go after Hasan Piker in a Wall Street Journal op-ed, okay? It was written by a bunch of third way hacks. Third way is like basically the epicenter of the corporate Democrats. You have this guy, Jim Kessler, he posted it. You have the people who wrote the piece are John Cowan and Lily Cohen. And the title is Democrats Are Too Cozy with Hasan Piker. And in this piece, they go on to viciously smear and libel Hasan Piker in such a disgusting way that frankly I tweeted he should sue them because I think he has a case and I think he could win. In the piece, they say in no uncertain terms, not only is he a raging misogynist, but they call him a, quote, Jew hater, okay? They said this, quote, we're all for a big tent, but...
Bro is reading while driving. That is crazy, bro. Pull over, dog. That's crazy.
The Democratic Party needs to draw a line in the sand. Hasan Piker and his fellow Jew haters belong on the other side, okay? So, it goes without saying, I shouldn't have to say this, but I will. It's absolutely untrue. Hasan literally goes out of his way on a daily basis to stress that criticism of Israel does not equal criticism of Jews, right? Just within the past however long, he posted videos. This is where anti-Semitism comes from. This is the real anti-Semitism. Hasan watches like some racist anti-Semitic guy crash out. Anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism. And it's gotten to the point where when I watch clips of his, sometimes I'll like facepalm a little bit and be like, Hasan, I get it. You don't have to throw it clear every time. We know you aren't anti-Semitic. We know that. Like, you don't have to stress that you're not anti-Semitic every time you correctly attack Israel for their genocide and their ethnic cleansing and their apartheid and their crusade to create a greater Israel, which is going on right now, right in front of our eyes, okay? So, just absolutely libelous. You ready for this? So, here is a part of the piece. According to the Wall Street Journal, Hasan saying apartheid, genocide, and Epstein class are all anti-Semitic. You're not allowed to say those words lest you hate Jews. This is so ingenuous. And you know what? Bottom line, this doesn't work anymore. You're not going to like scare people and lie and force them to shut up and not criticize Israel. You're trying to stifle all criticism of Israel. It's very clear what you're doing. And by the way, Epstein class was coined by Ro Khanna, and he uses it to talk about the top 1%.
Also, and John Ossoff. Like, one of the first people that used the term Epstein class was John Ossoff, who is Jewish, by the way. Like, the f*** are we talking about?
Use it to talk about the billionaires and the elites who go to Epstein Island. And that obviously isn't just Jews. There's a shitload of Christians. I'm sure there's a shitload of people who are not religious at all, right? Like, it has nothing to do with Judaism. In fact, when Ro Khanna was recently attacked by the head of the ADL, also they accused him of being anti-Semitic. He was like confused. He was like, hold on, they're attacking me for going after the quote neocons, and they're saying that
Kyle's right. It's almost anti-Semitic. The throat clear about it every time. Also, our dork woke king is going to crash. We got to talk him down from reading and driving. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even realize he was reading and driving. That's a different demon right there.
It's anti-Semitic. Ro Khanna was like, what are you talking about? Like, neocon is a neoconservative ideology which says we should do war to quote-unquote spread democracy. He's like, that has nothing to do with Judaism. Like, what the f*** are they talking about? It's gotten to the point now where, like, you breathe the wrong way, and they'll accuse you of being an anti-Semite, okay? And it's just bullshit. Nobody's buying it. Now, you ready for this? The final thing I'll leave you with here is somebody decided, okay, let's look into the history of one of these guys who's from Third Way who's sharing this piece, Jim Kessler, right? He has never once tweeted about the genocide in Gaza. Not once, y'all. Not once. Like, I'm sorry, man. You can do me a favor and go ahead and shut the f*** up forever. You're not a serious person. You're not an intellectual. You're not an analyst. You're not a truth teller. You have no actual ideology other than sucking off the corporations and the Israel lobby and the military-industrial complex.
True.
The future of the Democratic Party is with people like Hasan Piker and Ro Khanna and me and you watching this. When you look at the polling data, it's like a low of what, 3% of Democrats are still supporting Israel, a high of like 13% maybe in the good polls. It is over. The reason they're crashing out
Bro's doing this in the left lane. Yeah, Alex Jones could never.
is because they know nobody likes Israel anymore. And nobody's gonna like Israel again, because the fact of the matter is they are a genocidal.
Yeah, but yeah, I also want to point out that actual anti-Semites make no attempt to defend themselves against anti-Semites because they're Semites. Well, that's not true. Tucker Carlson may or may not be anti-Semitic, but he certainly defends himself. But yeah, Nick Fuentes literally, whenever people call Nick Fuentes a Jew hater, he's like, of course I hate the Jews. Like, that's what he says. That's what he says. It's crazy. White boy reading while bending the corner, like, whoa.
Apartheid ethno-state. They're currently engaged in a crusade where they're openly creating the Greater Israel Project. They totally obliterated Gaza. They annihilated everybody there. They're going to build a futuristic tech city on top of the skulls of dead babies. They're currently doing pogroms in the West Bank as we speak right now. That's literal. And they just displaced 700,000 people in southern Lebanon, and they're stealing all of southern Lebanon up to the Litani River. And they're open about this fact, okay? So for you to go after Hasan Piker in this moment. By the way, what happened to we got to come together, we got to work together, we have to defeat MAGA. MAGA's like the biggest enemy. Well, apparently, you're putting your middle finger up to what? The 90% of the Democratic base that agrees with Hasan and agrees with people like me? Like, I'm sorry, these dirty tricks are not going to work anymore. These guys are just totally embarrassing themselves. The backlash that I'm seeing to this piece is astronomical. I'm seeing nothing but raw anger. People absolutely flipping out on these vile, repulsive, wretched little cretins who are trying to smear somebody as anti-Semitic, libeling him. And the crux of their argument is, stop saying apartheid, even though Israel is factually engaging in apartheid according to human rights organizations. Stop saying genocide, even though it's factually a genocide and there's literal ICC charges against Netanyahu. And stop saying Epstein class. I'm sorry, bro. It is over. It is done. You guys are losing. You're going to continue to lose. It's fucking embarrassing. And this is why we call you Diet MAGA. You go look at all the shit that Hasan Piker is talking about these days. The overwhelming majority of the time, he's got his sights set on MAGA, on the fascists, on the imperialists, okay? And what are these guys doing? Shooting left, punching left. It's just not going to work anymore. You guys are not in the coalition. You are Diet MAGA Democrats. You are warmonger Democrats. And you are the problem in the party, and you're the reason that Democrats have perpetually lost to Donald Trump in the past, which is the most embarrassing thing I've ever heard of in my life, okay? Yep. The fact that any Democrats listen to you at all is the problem. You are not Democrats. You are Democrats in name only. So please, do me a favor.
It's a karaoke microphone, not a Hitachi magic wand in the back seat.
And I hope Hasan Piker sues the shit out of you, because he has a phenomenal case, and you guys know you're lying, and you did when you wrote the article.
God damn. Dark Woke King. I wish Dems fought as hard against the actual opposition party as they do the left wing of their own party. Yeah. I mean, he was cooking. Adam Johnson, centrist wing of the party paid millions by Wall Street and pro-Israel donors to find a manager to talk to. One must always be in search of the manager. Academia, government, corporate America are all sufficiently disciplined. Any remaining holdouts must be smeared and put in line. I mean, that's what this is. So what they're trying to do is effectively shut out. What if you got a court to say you're not anti-Semitic? First of all, that's going to be a relatively difficult process anyway, because if the judge identifies the International Holocaust Remembrance Association definition of anti-Semitism, which again, a lot of our legislation is like leaning in that direction right now, then yeah, of course they're going to be like, this is anti-Semitic. Because If you say anti-Israel is anti-Semitism, then yeah, these guys can just run around and say, oh, you're a Jew hater, you're a Jew hater, you're a Jew hater without any sort of pushback. Okay? The reality is they've lost the real court battle, okay? The public court. They've lost it. They can't do that, right? They can't do that at all. They can't change people's attitudes on Israel. So what they're trying to do is make it as annoying as possible. Make it as annoying as possible to openly oppose Israel, to openly oppose its genocide, to openly oppose apartheid, to openly oppose the ideology underpinning the development of the Israeli state, Zionism. Okay? That's all this is. And they can't, and they get a lot of success in this direction. They see a lot of success in this direction. Among Democratic voters, third way is an extreme moral minority on the issue of Israel, but would still like you to believe that they're about expanding the tent of the party they claim to represent. They can't do it, so they just chirp. Safe to assume they didn't reach out to you for comment. It's an op-ed. It's not a real article. It's a hit piece written in the form of an op-ed. They don't have any obligations to reach out to me for comment. But the irony, of course, is that they have no real base. They have no popular base here, and all they have is a couple outlets that are willing to offer them the opportunity to write. Yeah, Third Way wrote this. Centrist Dems launched 28 mission. Stop AOC. This is from Holly Otterbane at Axios. This was on March 1st. Third Way, an influential center-left group, is bringing together hundreds of elected officials, party leaders, and operatives here this weekend to build a case for nominating a middle-of-the-road Democrat, not a liberal, for a president in 2028. I'll be honest, man. Democrats, if the National Party still wants to abide by Third Way center politics, centrist politics, for no real discernible, moderate, mythical center that exists in this country, if they want to defend Israel that bad, collapse the government then. Go ahead. You know, what are you going to do? We'll organize against it. Have fun losing. We'll have to work outside of the confines of elections at that point, because you will have created the demise of the state. That's it. If you are so desperate to lose once again to fascists, then it's out of our hands, you know? Yeah, the same person who wrote this piece calling on Dems to exile Israel skeptics from the party was whiling about Vitor and Ben Rhodes shrinking the tent literally a week ago. Rules for thee, not for me. Big tent, but only those who agree with the Pod Save Bros on every single thing. There is no tent for pro-Israel Democrats, man. It's like 10% of the base. It's like 10%. It's not even like, and it's gonna keep shrinking. There's no base in the party. It's so ridiculous. New Reuters Ipsos poll on the Iran war, 37% approve, 59% disapprove. Yeah. And all of that is translated to animosity towards the Zionist entity as well, just so you understand. All of that translates to anger and animosity towards Israel as well. They see it, understandably, as Israel's war, because it is Israel's war. Make no mistake, of course, we are culpable, as always, especially because America does have the power to bring Israel to heel, or to, at the very least, cut Israel out of the negotiations process. Every moment that they choose not to do that is a moment where they are responsible. Every bomb that we drop on Iranian soil is our failure, our moral failure. Okay? The majority also believe that a war with Iran benefits Israel more than the U.S. Do you think launching a war against Iran generally benefits the United States or Israel more? Out of all likely voters, 29% say it benefits the United States more, 56% say benefits Israel more. Amongst Democrats, 67% say this benefits Israel more, and only 19% say it benefits the United States more. Among independents, it's 24 to 56%. Even among Republicans, only 42% say it benefits the United States more. 47%, the plurality, say it benefits Israel more. Now, understand something. Understand something. For Republicans, when they say it benefits Israel more, they still like that. They're still positive on war with Iran regardless. But it's done. It's over. What have I said for the last year? What have I said? They think the Corbyn model will work on you even after a genocide? Yeah, the UK centrists got their way and purged Labour Party of the left. The Labour Party is now in unprecedented collapse and will likely not even finish in the top 5 largest parties in the next general election. These people are going to destroy the Democrats too. What's very telling about the situation is that even though 85+% of Republicans support the war, around half say they don't know what the goals of the war are. Yeah, because they're livestock, they're morons, they're fascist baboons, all of them. Okay? The point is, you can actually offer them favorable domestic policies. If they choose to take it, that's great. If they don't, who cares? It is legitimately insane how narcissistic and paranoid these people are. You can't even talk about the reality of apartheid, genocide, Zionism, or colonialism without them crying about imaginary anti-Semitism. The word has lost all meaning at this point. Yes. The more I'm welcomed by mainstream institutions, the more people don't participate in this like idiotic shit slinging, the more these guys cry. And every time that they cry in a less and less popular direction. Because what have I said for the last year? What have I kept repeating every single day? This is the most popular Israel will be today. Today is the day that Israel will be the most popular it will ever be. Okay? Tomorrow, Israel will be less popular than it was today. Every single day that passes by, Israel's popularity diminishes. It's done. It's over. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. I never thought I would see the day. What is happening? This is why I said these are the weeks where decades happen. That's why I said it. American century of humiliation is upon us. It's over. We're obviously monitoring the living out of the situation. We will not stop monitoring the living out of the situation. You already know. This morning, when I was lifting and I was weightlifting, I was listening to the daily, which is what I like to do because it makes me angry and it helps me achieve a higher lift. It boosts my testosterone levels when I hear Michael Barbaro whisper sweet nothings into my ear and operate like a stenographer for the State Department, right? Especially as it pertains to foreign policy. It's very frustrating for me to listen. But this morning's daily was actually a little bit different. Many of you might have encountered this experience if you were tuning in during the post-October 7 period. You would hear me say something, and then maybe 2 months later, you would hear NPR repeat it, right? There was this like two-month latency period. Like we would talk about, Israel utilizing drones that were sounding off like crying babies to try to get Palestinians out of their shelter so that they could literally do them with drone strikes. I would cover that story, and then no one else would really cover that story in mainstream news until maybe 2, 3, 4 months later down the line, you would see the same segment on NPR. The timeline from Hasan Abi broadcast coverage to the New York Times has diminished because they are now openly admitting things that I was saying 19 days ago as far as what I think is going to happen. That's a major improvement as far as how fast even the New York Times is coming to terms with certain realities. I think that is a testament to how bad the war effort is going. I think that is a testament to how much Donald Trump has this entire thing up, specifically for capital owners, right? Because the impact is being felt already. That people are terrified. I saw a Daily Mail article about what it would look like if this war continued for 4 months and what kind of collapse would take place in Europe and in Asia, right? Like people are talking about bread lines, riots, no more car travel, no more air travel, things like that for certain countries. So, it's this encourage is panned out where this is 4 months from. What do you mean? Iran put out a footage of a F-35 being hit? No shot. Are you kidding me, dude? Oh my God, American empire is so over. It's not even funny. There's no way this is real, right? I don't know. Shot. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's real. Oh my God. It's real. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's real. Oh my God. CENTCOM confirmed it. CNN confirmed it. Oh my God. That is crazy, brother. That is our premier This is the next gen. This is the next gen. Oh, no. Oh, we are so washed, dude. Oh, my God. Oh, U.S. air supremacy. Oh, my God. The F-35 multi-role fighter jet. Something that costs almost $1 trillion. How is that possible? Sorry, we didn't know it was invisible. Oh, my lordy. Donald Trump thinks this plane is invisible, too. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, that's your healthcare. That's literally your healthcare. That is your healthcare that just perished, okay? We could have had high-speed rail, a network of high-speed rail on this country. We could have had, oh my God, we have the ass jet F-35 multi-role fighter jet instead of healthcare in this goddamn country, instead of schools, instead of high-speed rail. Oh my lordy, that is crazy. That is actually crazy. Oh my Lord, that is wild. By 2017, the program was expected over his lifetime until 2070 to cost $406 billion for acquisition of the jets and $1.1 trillion for the operations and maintenance. Stop playing with me, dude. Inside Wire said it's fake. I mean, if CNN says it's real, CENTCOM says it's real, who the f gives a shit about what Inside Wire is saying, you know? Oh my Lord, dude. Sources tell me the F-35 is stable. Please, God. I don't see why any jet is incapable of being shot at. Brother, I need you to understand something, okay? The F-35 multi-role fighter jet is supposed to be the last generation fighter jet that the United States currently has at its disposal. It is one of the most costly endeavors we have engaged in, totaling more than $1 trillion. If they are capable of being taken out by, relative, like conventional loitering munitions or surface-to-air missiles, that directly contradicts the air superiority argument that the American government can utilize. That also is a major blow to the confidence that we could have. This is not like some old tech that we're working with, where our foreign adversaries have had years and years and years of combat experience to basically design a way to successfully counteract. It's unbelievably bad. It is unbelievably bad if the F-35 is actually taken out by Iranian anti-air missiles. Do you understand? It shows two things. Number one, they still have denial capabilities. Okay, Iran still has denial capabilities, and they're very successfully utilizing it. Number two, it also shows us that the American air superiority is busted and dusted. It's unbelievable. Given that the U.S. now has effectively run out of standoff munitions, they finally ordered an F-35 sortie into Iranian space. This stealth aircraft was detected, targeted, and struck, and was lucky to make it back to base in one piece. Oh my Lord. Dude, this is worse than the mother. Bro. This is literally worse than the gas field shit, okay? For all the missile autists, for all the plane autists, this was something that I could not believe when the New York Times initially reported that a F-35 was dinged by the Ansar Allah, the Ansar Allah loitering like anti-air defenses. I thought there's no shot. How the Ansar Allah movement have a capability to hit the F-35? It turns out they did. It turns out this is real. Yeah, F-35 is right. The OSINT tech nerds are saying that Iran is a totally new type of radar that our stealth fighters don't even register. If you look, that F-35 didn't even evade. They had no idea it was coming. I don't understand it. If this is real, it is a devastating blow. Dude, you know what this reminds me of? It's like people just thinking that, we have the best cavalry units, okay? And then they encounter an explosive ordnance for the first time, okay? Like this literally feels like America running around being like, excuse me, we have the greatest cavalry units. We've destroyed their cavalry. They don't even have horseback mounted units any longer. How could they ever do warfare? And then they just come out with a cannon and they're like, what's this? A cannon? Whatever this thing is. Seems kind of stupid to unfold this on the battlefield and then boom, out of nowhere, you're like, what the do you understand this? If this is a mass producible, repeatable incident, this literally renders the F-35 like tanks, basically. If Ukraine and Russia showed that tanks were unreliable in drone combat, this is yet another instance where it's done. Like, there's no, like, why would you use this? Why do I not find this shocking at all? I mean, am I crazy? Did I just like lean into the crazy coverage on the 35s that I just assumed that it wouldn't be like this $1 trillion operation would not be taken out by Iranian missiles this easily? Is this China tech or Iran tech? I don't. Oh my God, dude, I can't, it's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. You don't believe in Chinese tech? No, I do believe in Chinese tech. I don't know if this is a Chinese missile or a Chinese surveillance system. I don't know if it's any of that. Okay, we don't know. I don't know. I'm not a missilotist. I don't know what the Iranian capabilities are. I have a lot of. I've been steadily impressed every single day with like not only the Iranian resilience so far, but also their engineering and their ingenuity in general. They have, it's a nation of nerds. Okay, this is what happens when you got a nation of chud ass nerds. Their highest ranking officials are chud ass nerds when it comes to merging Western philosophy and Eastern Islamic principles. They got like 18 PhDs. That's what their leadership looks like. And their entire government structure is designed by engineers. It's the most engineering country of all time. So maybe they have their own version. I don't know if it's the Chinese one, but it's this is crazy. I gotta text Felix. Holy dude, that is crazy, brother. What the hell? I gotta call Marat. Let's not get away with it too much. Russia and China are helping Iran, buddy. Okay, dude. Listen, that could be the case here, but like the idea, dude, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's $1 trillion. It's $1 trillion. $1 trillion. Are you kidding me? I'm losing my mind. I can't. Yeah, the F-35 is so stealthy that even the taxpayers can't see where the $1 trillion went. Done. It's done. It's over. Pack it up. Bring everybody back home. Bring the boys back home right now. Bring the boys back home right now. It's over. It's over. American imperialism is over. It's done. Pack it up. Bring the troops home right now. No more warfare. We gave this straight to Iran. Just give it up. Give it up. It's over. It's over. $2 trillion. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Wrap it up. Wrap it up. We could have built millions of miles. We could have done a robust high-speed rail network with that money. We could have literally fixed our entire infrastructure. We could have designed socialized medicine in this country. I can't believe it. This is unbelievable. Oh, will Amara Vassal still buy the plane? Who gives a shit? Let him buy it, okay? Dude, I'm sorry. The Axis is cooking our holes right now. It's done. It's done. It's time to become England. It's time to become England. This is the moment, okay? It's time to become England. You know how they closed up piece by piece every single colony? It's time right now. If you cut away from the losses right now, you can still salvage the situation. We can still salvage the situation. Cut away from the losses presently, okay? Make haste. Cut away and just become England. And then you can just, we can be England. It's fine. England is fine. I mean, they're suffering right now because we're cooking their asses, but it's over. It's done. It's done. American empire is done. It's done. Write it out. What? The whole F-35 program was $2 trillion? Yeah, you think I think every F-35 is $1 trillion? Are you insane? No, I'm saying that the functionality of the F-35, which is a true $2 trillion project is literally evaporating in real life in front of your eyes. If the latest generation American multi-role fighter jet can be taken out with Iranian munitions like this, it sucks. It's useless. The F-35 got obviously hit by some optical targeting system like the Iranian Object 359, some very cheap but clever system. The F-35 didn't even use its flare, so it wasn't some manpad. That's what I'm saying, bro. They didn't even know it was coming. Are you kidding me? $2 trillion? $100 million per plane right now. That's $2 trillion of the overall cost of the program down the goddamn toilet. This should not happen. That's all I'm saying. Like, you're talking about, adversary detection systems, adversary striking capabilities that need to be advanced in the field of battle. They start, reconfiguring how they're going to do targeting without being targeted themselves, right? Like, all of this was a ding no. No, that's what I'm saying. You can't be getting dinged out. You can't be getting shot at. The F-35 isn't new anymore, man. It's almost 20 years old. The F-47 is the new one that hasn't been shown off yet. If it's anything like the F-35 program, it's cooked. Is my industry? Contract bloat is real. I mean, I know this industry. I am very familiar with this industry, okay? There's a reason why everyone is covering this story, by the way, because this is a profound development. Also, F-47 is meant to replace the F-22, not the F-35. I mean, this is insane. What you're saying is true, but without real combat to test these things out, people developing the weapons can make wrong assumptions. Same thing happened with naval warfare during the First World War. Okay, but this is a spectacular failure, especially because America has been at war non-stop. Stop. Bro, you don't know our real multi-role supremacy. She goes to another school. Holy dude. God damn. Please just pack it up. Please pack it up. Please pack it up. 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 Just pack it up. We got to pack it up ASAP, bro. We got to pack it up ASAP. It's done. It's over. It's done. It's over. The important thing here is not whether an F-35 was shot down. It was the fact that Iran's air defense was able to detect, track, and lock onto and shoot and damage an F-35 without the F-35 even knowing that it was actually locked onto. Like, look at this. Breaking. IRGC claims F-35 hit over central Iran. Footage unverified. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said its air defense struck a U.S. F-35 fighter jet around 2:50 a.m. over central Iran, claiming the aircraft was seriously damaged and likely crashed, though its fate remains unclear. So I need you to understand something. This means, one, Iran still got hands, which we knew already, okay? And what I mean by that is, like, they very clearly still have anti-air defense systems in play. What happened to the air superiority argument? America was like, oh, dude, it's over. We already have full-blown air superiority. What did I tell you? I told you that they have weapons that they roll out randomly. They don't have stable, fixed position anti-aircraft munitions because they would get lasered like on day 2. So they periodically roll out their anti-aircraft weapons, okay? I told you that. And these guys kept repeating this nonsense that America had established air superiority. And clearly they believed their own fucking nonsense because otherwise they wouldn't have rolled out the F-35. So that's number one. So their defenses have not been obliterated, clearly, okay? Number two, this puts a direct blow in the American force projection capabilities. If your last gen fighter jets, if your last gen multi-role fighter jets that cost $2 trillion with the R&D and with all procurement are getting dinged without even noticing that they're getting dinged by Iranian missiles, is over. Is over. Bro, like, anyone after today that comes at me and tries to say, well, bro, we would destroy China, can suck from the entire back, okay? Look at this. Look at this. The IRGC said the incident follows the interception of more than 125 American Zionist drones, pointing to what it described as improved air defense capabilities. The claim and footage remains unverified, except there's an update. U.S. F-35 fighter jet damaged by suspected Iranian fire makes an emergency landing at a U.S. airbase in the Middle East, sources say. Bro, we have daisy-chained stratotanker after stratotanker after stratotanker because we don't have any bases in the region that aren't in arm's length distance from Iranian drone strikes and Iranian cluster munitions. So we literally have designed this complex daisy chain of strato tankers that are refueling these planes because they have to start their flight from all the way out there as far as they possibly can get. And then they make their mother way to the Iranian airspace and they get clapped. Oh my God. Oh my God. Sorry, we didn't know it was invisible. Iran's Khatam al-Anbiya central headquarters says the proud, knowledgeable, and valiant youth of the aerospace force of the IRGC after the imposed 12-day war succeeded in developing new air defense. No shot. No, they did not design. There's no way that they were like, get the autists together. We have to find a new air defense system. Write it off. Since the 12-day war, they did not design a new anti-air defense system since the last 12-day war. This has to be Chinese tech. Okay, I take it back. I was skeptical that it was Chinese air defense, but now I think it must be Chinese because yeah, you can't just design an anti-air defense system in like a matter of months. Okay. Never mind. Okay. The proud, the knowledgeable, the valiant youth of the aerospace force of the IRGC after the imposed 12-day war succeeded in developing new air defense equipment and systems and deploying them in the country's integrated air defense system, striking the legendary power and invincibility of the ultra-advanced fifth-generation American F-35 aircraft, breaking its aura for the first time in the world and discrediting it. Iran is developing new tech at anime speeds not seen on this earth before. I mean, nobody wants this. Except for like maybe a couple people that really want this, and they want it because they want it at the behest of a foreign nation. And we just kind of have to sit here and be like, oh, another day, I guess. Watch them blame the pilot. They're gonna be like, it's a woman pilot. Yeah, this is a tremendous failure for American ingenuity. This is unbelievable. I mean, it's a totally unbelievable. I need to see the cope on this. I need to see the cope on this right now. What happened to all the pro-NATO O's and Andes that were like, excuse me, who's to say we have not accomplished our military objectives? Iran gonna find out why we don't have healthcare. It's like, bitch, you don't have healthcare. You are the one who doesn't have healthcare. You're asking the wrong questions. You're making the wrong statements. You should be saying, we should have healthcare instead of this. You don't even have the force projection confidence booster any longer. How do you sit here and watch $2 trillion light on fire? What has NATO have to do with it? This is a U.S. operation. NATO is U.S. and I'm referencing like the pro-NATO, pro-U.S. Andes. Can someone link me to tweet Hasan had up with a poster that said the F-35 was invisible? Or something, I couldn't get it. Yeah, also, it's wonderful that Donald Trump, again, JD Pondon, the bullet pierced my ear, but I still hear the voice of the party. JD Pondon comes out. Share of respondents who say it's either better to depend on China or on the U.S. under Donald Trump. Canada, 57% say it's better to trust China. Germany, 40% say it's better to trust China. France, 34% say it's better to trust China. The UK, 42% say it's better to trust China. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. I never thought I would see the day. I never thought I would see the day where the Euroids are waking up to the reality that they have been vassalized. What is happening? This is why I said these are the weeks where decades happen. That's why I said it. America's century of humiliation is upon us. It is now time to redesign everything, okay? We got to pick this society apart piece by piece to rebuild it. It's over. The faster we pivot away from our endless militarism, the better it will be for American society, for ordinary Americans. Please, I know no one will listen to me except for the here, but God damn, dude, please. Oh, for years and years, I have spent countless hours explaining that American militarism and American imperialism is not good for the European allies that have been vassalized. American imperialism is not good for the ordinary Americans that don't benefit from the imperial bounty. For years, I have explained that we are spread far too thin, but even I never thought that it would take a matter of like weeks for America to come short. All it took was for a country to say, all right, I'm not playing ball any longer. And even that country was actively trying to negotiate over and over and over and over again. Even that country kept saying, Iran kept saying, please, let's negotiate. Please, please, let's negotiate. And our fat cats thought that that restraint was not because of their naivete, but that restraint was because they were terrified. That's what we thought. American hubris. We thought their restraint and their interest in negotiating with us was born out of a real fear of American military superiority. We have the most sophisticated weapons. We have the best weapons. You said this like 5 weeks ago too. I remember thinking, inshallah, one day. I did. I've been saying this for years. Having said that, however, I did not think it would be this much. I did not think it would be this fast and this embarrassing. Even with the 12-day war, I thought, okay, there will be a lot of pummeling. They'll blow the out of, they'll blow up the positions. They'll close up the tunnels. Iran won't have the striking capabilities. It turns out American capitalism was also our biggest security weakness, our biggest flaw, because of the complex international design of global capital. You can just hit the heart of capital centers. You can hit profit centers from Iranian TELs. You can hit American profit centers by shutting off the Strait of Hormuz, for example. And then when you do that, the entire system falls apart. It's a very weak system for that reason. An incredibly important lesson to learn here, for the record. From the last frames of the F-35 being hit by Iranian air defense, it looks like some type of shrapnel got in the air intake and damaged the engine, but the airframe looked largely intact. The important thing here is not whether F-35 was shot down. It was the fact that Iran's air defenses were able to detect, track, lock onto, and shoot and damage F-35. This alone is a form of deterrence, forcing the U.S. to continue using expensive standoff munitions with their non-stealth aircraft and avoid using F-35 with impunity. I know where it landed. There's only 2 bases. I live here. It was flying over me. Really mad. Oh my Lord. Oh, Lordy, Lordy. And this is not like Russia. This is not like Russia at all. This comes after 2.5 years of Israel doing genocide, unlimited genocide in Gaza with American defenses, with American help, with American aid, with American weapons, right? This also is like, this also wasn't like, Russia invading Ukraine, right? This is America and Israel, 2 partners that have shown that they're unreliable already and expended all the goodwill that they may have had with their European partners. Striking a sovereign nation state right now is open season for Iran. They have every right to defend themselves. So every single thing that they do, every single military goal that they achieve, every single profit center that's hit is not being, the blame and the responsibility is not being put on Iran. It's being put on America and Israel. Even in places like the United States of America, instead of people feeling hardened and instead of people feeling emboldened, people feeling a sense of pride and getting angry at the enemy, they realize that we did this. We did this. It is an underdog story in some ways. We should have never done any of this. We should have never done any of this. Okay, that much is clear, I hope. My Lord, here, let's watch the impact a little bit. National gas prices.
Almost immediately in the prices people pay here at the pump. Overnight prices rising another 5 cents. The nationwide average now $3.90 a gallon. Since this war began, prices have jumped 96 cents, and they are now at their highest levels since 2022. That's when they hit $5 a gallon. Meantime, diesel prices, that is the lifeblood of the American economy. It fuels shipping, trains, semi-trucks, hauling products, and of course, farmers use this fuel as well. It is now $5.05 a gallon. The past 2 weeks have brought the biggest two-week price increase in diesel on record, and it all comes down to oil, which is now $95 a barrel, in that range. Every $1 move in oil prices translates to about a 2 to 3 cent move higher at the pump. If sustained, this would mean that households are adding about $1,000 or more to their costs over the course of a year. And if you think about this, this is part of everything. Heating costs, the cost of an Uber, the cost of food, it ripples through the entire economy, Robin.
Many people are thinking about that. You're right, Rebecca. Thank you.
Day 20 of this war, Israel and the US have continued to hit targets in Iran. But there is a new type of target, a new category over here. We're going to talk about it. Israel targeting Iranian energy infrastructure and Iran hitting back.
I didn't even realize how perfect my new merch is for this moment. Yeah, I didn't even realize that I'm literally wearing my new merch that's coming out. And it's a perfectly illustrative of the moment that is happening currently. That I designed this literally 3 months ago, okay? Or even longer than that. Is crazy. Pre-watch Piker, pre-cog Piker, baby. Did you start World War III just to sell merch? Yeah. Piker Broadcasting Service for tomorrow's merch today. Piker Broadcasting Service for tomorrow's news today. Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and MBs, here at the Piker Broadcasting Service, it's not always going to be fun. Okay, but Union Made American Made merchandise, ideology.shop. Please, your voluntary contributions in the form of a Twitch Prime
is an escalation, a big one that deepens both the war itself and the problems for the global economy. Let's zoom in a bit to understand this more, because it's really important. The waters between Iran and Qatar, actually, in between
Erica Kirk ass merchant. Yeah, that's me, baby.
Between them is the world's largest natural gas field. And the two countries, well, they divvy it up pretty much. Iran calls it the South Pars. Qatar calls it North Dome. Now, Israel struck targets related to it in Iran. Whether or not it had the approval of the US is now a matter of contention. This shows the video of the aftermath of a strike in Asulea. Iran struck back straight away, hitting the Ras Laffan complex. Qatar said there was extensive damage, taking out 17% of Qatar's natural gas export capacity. Repairs are expected to take 3 to 5 years. That has led to the price of gas to shoot up. So that means a country like us here in the UK, where gas is a crucial part of our energy mix, we're going to see higher energy prices. But Iran also threatened to strike other energy infrastructure facilities across the region, including Saudi Arabia's Sam Ref refinery. That is over here, and that's really important. You'll notice we've shifted over on the map away from the Strait of Hormuz, which we will talk about. A lot of people say, well, maybe...
Is Qatar exaggerating the damage to satisfy Iran? I don't think so. I think they actually are cooking the gas fields.
Maybe this is a way to bypass the Strait of Hormuz, the issues there. But if this is a target now, well, that plan doesn't work anymore. And there are also targets much closer to the Strait. In Saudi Arabia, on this side of it, up here. In Qatar, we've talked about it. Also the UAE, another gas field down there. So we've been talking about gas in Qatar.
The other side of this is that Americans spent hours on hours at Davos, at all these different international summits, yelling at the European allies for desperately trying to get on the renewable energy grid, desperately trying to electrify their grid, right? If you recall, Howard Butlick went on stage and was like, why the would you move into the realm of renewable energy when China controls that? Wouldn't you want reliable, energy that we're providing you? Fossil fuels, right? You guys got to stop trying to electrify your grid. You guys got to stop moving in the direction of renewable energy. Well, after today's incident, not even today's incident, but like the last couple of months have shown, turns out in order to have energy independence, you have to move into the realm of renewables, because what was previously foreseen as reliable energy, okay, reliable energy is no longer seen as reliable energy no longer, right? Look at Cuba. the fact that they have any energy whatsoever right now, after 3 months of not having any oil come onto the island, is because 30% of their entire energy grid is now solar panels due to Chinese solar panels that have been sent, that have been shipped off. That's it. Is solar panel time. This is something that people have been pushing for many, many years. In order to stave off some of the worst elements of anthropogenic climate change, people have been actively advocating for it. But also, there is an energy independence angle here too. 70% of LNG production is insane. Qatar Energy said this is $20 billion in annual revenue loss. If oil fields keep getting hit, it seems the GCC countries may not pivot their primary frustration to Iran, or may pivot their primary frustration to Iran. At least that's what the Qataris and Saudis are suggesting. Yes. Qatar Energy just announced that they may have to declare force majeure on long-term contracts for up to 5 years, dude. We have escalated into worst-case scenario territory overnight, and it literally happened because Israel struck the gas fields. Just remember, Israel struck the gas fields. Iran and Qatar share that gas field. Force majeure means forced closure. Is done. They're packing it up. Like, they're packing up the contracts. They just don't have the capability. That is an unbelievable energy crisis. That's precisely the reason why, by the way, Donald Trump came out. That's precisely the reason why Donald Trump came out last night and said this dumbass Truth Social post that I replied to. I said, everybody panic now. He came out and said, statement from President Trump on the South Pars gas field. Israel, out of anger for what has taken place in the Middle East, has violently lashed out at a major facility known as South Pars gas field in Iran. I mean, I just didn't think that the end of the world would be so funny at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, this man is a wordsmith, brother. What do you mean? Out of anger for what has taken place in the Middle East, has violently lashed out at a major facility known as the South Pars gas field in Iran. Like, like, this is, Israel just got real mad. Who knows why? And then they just lashed out at a facility. It's so funny to describe Israel escalating. Okay, Israel escalating its unlimited bombing campaign to new targets that are predictably going to cause energy collapse in the world. And it's just the way he tries to describe it. The way he tries to describe it is like the New York Times trying to write about an incident where Israel like blew up a school with orphans or something. You know what I mean? You know how like the New York Times loves never putting the blame directly on Israel when Israel has blown up yet another, you know, orphanage or whatever? That's Donald Trump's own version of like passive voice, but he's obviously incapable of writing in passive voice because he's not the New York Times editor, right? Like the New York Times editor has spent decades upon decades correcting and perfecting its passive voice when it comes time to like writing about police involved shooting incidents, right? As though bullets materialize out of thin air, and the same thing for Israel, right? So when Donald Trump tries to do that, it just comes across very funny. Like it's hilarious to watch a genuinely stupid man get together with his team of also genuinely stupid people to be like, how do we make this work? You know, I can't blame Israel too hard, but you know, it's just they've lashed out violently at a facility because of all the stuff that's going on in the Middle East. Who started it, man? And then the rest is even funnier. A relatively small section of the whole has been hit. The United States knew nothing about this particular attack. No, definitely, man. Yeah, Israel blew up the gas fields, and the American government knew nothing of it, okay? Knew nothing about this particular attack, and the country of Qatar was in no way, shape, or form involved with it, nor did it have any idea that it was gonna happen. Unfortunately, Iran did not know this. Unfortunately, Iran didn't know this. Iran mistook the Israeli-American bombing campaign on the gas fields as the Israeli-American bombing campaign on the gas fields and retaliated. Unfortunately, Iran didn't know this either. Everyone is uninvolved. This is a totally random happenstance. Totally random. Israel just violently lashed out, and then Iran didn't know who was responsible, so they also lashed back at the oil fields. It's clearly not true, and it looks really bad for his admin if it is true. Just the worst statement ever. No, it's one of those incidents where, like, you know how I used to always say I feel kind of bad for like Israel defenders because it's like impossible to defend Israel. This is that moment, right? I mean, I don't actually feel bad for Zionists who, get paid to defend Israel. But do you see what I mean? It's like impossible to defend Israel. So if your job is to do PR for the apartheid, the genocidal apartheid state, the Zionist entity, you're going to have a hard time. You're always going to look like a idiot. And the best case scenario for this PR is going to make you look like a buffoon. Obviously, the truth is America did know that Israel was going to do this and said yes because they're morons. But it's awesome. It's awesome that Donald Trump tried to throw Israel under the bus here, but did so in the worst way possible. Anyway, unjustifiable. So, yeah, Iran didn't know this and any of the pertinent facts pertaining to the South. You can see, you can feel how sweaty his thumbs were when typing this out, by the way. Or any pertinent facts pertaining to the South Pars attack and unjustifiably and unfairly attacked a portion of Qatar's LNG gas facility. No more attacks will be made by Israel pertaining to this extremely important and valuable South Pars field unless Iran unwisely decides to attack a very innocent, in this case, Qatar. Very innocent, in this case, Qatar, in which instance the United States of America, with or without the help or consent of Israel, will massively blow up the entirety of the South Pars gas field at an amount of strength and power that Iran has never seen or witnessed before. Now, understand something. This part doesn't match up with this threat because guess what? You are writing, many people are saying, the most anxiously typed truth social post imaginable because Iran got struck and then retaliated. So if your threat, okay, if your threat in this instance is we'll blow it up even harder, well, then they have nothing to lose, don't you think? Because this is how escalation works. You escalate, and then they escalate, okay? So if you're shitting your pants because Israel, without your knowledge, struck first on the Iranian gas fields, and then Iran retaliated, and it caused you to panic so hard that you wrote this entire thing, this threat doesn't make any sense. You can't just be like, Israel really up by striking this gas field, and then Iran didn't know any better, so they struck back, but if Iran does it again, we'll blow it up even harder. It doesn't make sense. Then, okay, you blow up the gas fields, Iran will literally nuke the entire energy production in the region. Like, this logically doesn't make sense, okay? Also, it's pretty funny where he's like, without the consent of Israel. What do you mean? Why the do we care about the consent of Israel? You're the American president. Act like it. Anyway, will massively blow up the entirety of the South Pars gas field in an amount of strength and power Iran has never seen before. He's like a child. I do not want to authorize this level of violence and destruction because of the long-term implications that it will have on the future of Iran. But if Qatar LNG is attacked again, I will not hesitate to do so. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. Military genius, dude. Yeah, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if infrastructure like this gets blown up as of this moment, it will take at least a decade to recover from this war. And the truth is that the world's energy picture has probably changed forever, which is true. This single facility produced roughly 20% of global LNG supply, and as of 2011 had taken $70 billion to build. It took 14 years to build this facility, apparently. 14 years, one of the most sophisticated gas facilities on the planet. What makes this even worse is that Iran's strike on this was retaliation after Israel attacked the South Pars gas field, which draws from the same natural gas reservoir, which is the world's largest by far. That's what's so crazy about this. So if Iran didn't even retaliate, that still actually harms the Qatari interests. So they're getting double circumstance. Qatar is getting twice. First, when Israel strikes the same gas field, okay, just on the other side of not the coastline, but like it's basically pieced up half and half almost between Qatar and Iran, right? So Qatar is getting it from both ends, first by Israel, then by Iran. Heck, on the list of the 25 largest natural gas fields, this single reservoir holds roughly 40% of their combined recoverable reserves and is nearly 6 times bigger than the second biggest field in the world. And unlike many of the others on the list, it's only at 10% depletion, meaning 90% of the gas is still there. Which means that probably for many years, a huge share of the gas from the world's largest reservoir simply won't be extractable, as infrastructure on both sides, Qatar's and Iran's, has now been blown up. From a global energy supply perspective, we're deep in the worst case scenario territory. I voted for this. I voted to perish the world's largest natural gas reserves. Yeah, also, that was really funny because Trump literally threatens in that Truth Social post to blow up Qatar's gas field to defend Qatar's gas field. Like, none of this makes sense. It's so obviously just a panic tweet late in the night. Incredible, dude. Actually incredible. Where are the nothing ever happens guys? Where are they? I need to hear from them. Anyway, our response to Israel's attack on our infrastructure employed fraction of our power. The only reason for restraint was respective requested the escalation. Zero restraint of our infrastructure. Infrastructures are struck again. Any end to this war must address the damage to our civilian sites. Oh, there's also a dollar counter here that we haven't talked about. Everything that they strike, Iran absolutely has the right and the responsibility to demand restitution for, compensation for, reparations. That's the other side of the story as well, which they probably will ask for, understandably. Everything that Israel is blowing up, we have to pay for. We're paying for it with our tax dollars already, with the weapons that are being used, because those are our weapons, right? Those are our munitions. And then on top of that, they're going to demand us pay compensation. They're going to demand that we pay reparations for the shit that we blew up. This is a fraction of what's going on right now, by the way. Watch. Let's take a look at what Scott Bessent had to say. Mr. Treasury. Let's see what he had to say about releasing some of the sanctions piece by piece on Iran.
Effort. We had a break the glass plan across the administration and at Treasury. We unsanctioned Russian oil. We knew that there were about 130 million barrels on the water, and we created supply that is beyond the Straits of Hormuz. So we anticipated this. We knew that there could be a temporary, and I want to emphasize temporary, choke point there, and there was 130 million barrels of floating storage. In the coming days, we may unsanction the Iranian oil that's on the water. It's about 140 million barrels, so depending on how you count it, that's 10 days to 2 weeks of supply that the Iranians had been pushing out. That would have all gone to China. In essence, we will be using the Iranian barrels against the Iranians to keep the price down for the next.
Oh, glorious. Glorious. We're going to release the Iranian sanctions so that we actually hurt the Iranians is a fantastic, fantastic gambit. Masterful gambit, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, you know what also helps Iran? The fact that their oil tankers are the only ones that can cross through the Strait of Hormuz right now, as the price of the oil barrel is also skyrocketed. You know who this helps? Russia. You know who this helps? Iran. Ironically enough. Now that the Strait of Hormuz is closed effectively and the price of crude has gone up, every single barrel that Iran is capable of selling to the rest of the world is even more expensive. And therefore, they're making even more money. 5D chess here, okay? It's awesome. For the record, we should have never been sanctioning the shit out of Iran to begin with and like starving its economy. This literally celebrated that openly said that the reason why there is discontent in Iran right now, the reason why there are mass protests in Iran right now is because we effectively starved out their economy. We destroyed their regular, ordinary people's normal existence in the country. He said it. He said it. Remember, forcibly, Iran is recovering those lost assets, the economic damage, piece by piece.
10 or 14 days as we continue this campaign.
Iran sets up approved shipping corridor through Hormuz. Iran is allowing select vessels to pass through the Strait of Hormuz along the routes inside its territorial waters after their prior approval, with at least one tanker reportedly paying $2 million for transit, according to Lloyd's list. At least 9 ships have already used the route near Larak Island, where the IRGC-linked authorities verify vessels. Governments including India, China, Pakistan, Iraq, and Malaysia are coordinating transit requests directly with Tehran. Lloyd's list reports Iran is moving to formalize the system. Ship owners must submit detailed ownership and cargo information in advance, often via intermediaries, to register for clearance, with vessels tied to the U.S. or Israel excluded. Traffic remains minimal, with just 15 transits recorded from March 15th to 17th, about 90% tied to Iran-linked trade or ownership. So now they're collecting a toll for pass-through, for safe clearance through the Strait of Hormuz. Not only have they effectively shut off the Strait of Hormuz, as we've talked about already, they are now rerouting vessels through one of their islands to collect a toll. RIP Australia, I guess. My dumbass government is helping the USA so we won't get to make a deal for safe passage around. You'll see. I think that things will change. This is also part of the reason why Iran is directly communicating, from what I understand, with the French and the German and the British governments. I mean, maybe not the British one, actually, but they're definitely talking to the French government and the German government. Iran, by force, is getting the European vassals to decouple from America. Iran is utilizing capitalism to its advantage. The weakness of capital is that endless profits may flow. And if your goal is to keep this entire system together, a fragile system, as Iran has shown, okay, and you have to abide by your capital masters, your capital owning masters, you have to sometimes cut a deal with Iran. You have to forcibly decouple from the United States of America. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant move. None of these guys were going to do it, even if America turned around and said, we're going to take Greenland. It's clear. European capital owners straight up showed their asses in that last bout when they were like, wait, what do you mean, Mr. President? Why would you take over Greenland forcibly? Why would you forcibly annex Greenland? It's your territory already. Like, why would you do that? Why would you embarrass us openly? And they were able to cause America to stand down, right, for a brief moment. But the damage was already done. But it wasn't enough. Mertz and all Eurocrats like Rutte still went back to the United States of America, still kept calling America daddy over and over again. And then America went in with Israel and did this thing and collapsed the energy markets. And now Iran has effectively shut off the Strait of Hormuz and is by force, one, showing what kind of damage it can do to American assets in the region, delivering blow after blow to the confidence that America had, or the confidence that allies had in American security assurances, and also, last but not least, collecting a toll in the process and forcibly decoupling European vassal states from America, because European vassals also have their own capital masters. And when the order of global capital is disrupted this way, nation states remember that they have their own national interests. Yeah, the toll here, they openly stated it yesterday. They're planning to levy a 10% toll on all ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz. This will generate $73 billion a year, completely offsetting U.S. sanctions and paying for war damages.
Talking about leveling a tax, a toll on ships. You know, in normal times, about $2 billion worth of goods pass through the Strait of Hormuz every day. So if you have a 10% toll, that would be $200 million. That would bring Iran about $73 billion a year. And that would be enough to offset the illegal sanctions that the country is going through, that would be enough.
This is racketeering, eh? Are they taking payments in dollars? I don't know if they're taking the payments in dollars. They floated the idea of trading on the Chinese yuan, but I don't even think China wants that to happen. So I don't know if they just like kind of dropped that. But are they only? Regardless. The point is, people can say this is illegal all day, every day. But you know what else is illegal? Doing a decapitation strike on a sovereign nation state, blowing up its energy grid, engaging in chemical warfare. So sorry, sucks to suck. You dropped it. You cannot turn around and say, oh, why won't they abide by international law? They are dictating the terms of international law. If might is right, and this is something that I kept repeating, right? If might is right is the way of the land, if we're operating on those rules, then sometimes there will be another country out there who's crazy enough to fight back, and then they rewrite the rules at their behest, to their benefit. This is a moment. You can't complain about it. Okay, I know that for many Americans, we're so used to dominating other countries, right? That there's almost this weird entitlement, this selfish attitude where we're like, what do you mean you're fighting back against us? That's illegal. How dare you? How dare you blow up our military bases? This is something that I kept hearing from the Gulf states and America over and over again. They were like, Iran is fighting back against all of its regional neighbors. Why are they doing that? It's like, well, why do you think? You can't put American military bases and then engage in American military action against a sovereign state and not expect them to retaliate. What's wrong with you? This is what anti-imperialism looks like, by the way. And sometimes it's not going to be conducted by guys that are ideologically committed. Sometimes it's a mechanism of survival. This is a matter of survival for Iran. It's a matter of maintaining their dignity, maintaining their sovereignty. They are well within their rights to do this. Okay? This is what happens. This is what happens when you go toe-to-toe with a country that's, backed into a corner where they have to fight their way out of it. Okay? You know what's crazy about it, too? All the while all of this fucking chaos is unfolding, okay? Israel is still trying to southern Lebanon. America is still trying to actively starve Cuba. Like, that's how evil empire is, okay? There are real human casualties on the other side of this that we don't even consider. The Israeli forces are still dominating the lives of regular Palestinians in the West Bank. All of this must be put to an end, okay? Western imperialism must be held to account. Western imperialism must be brought to heel. It's that simple. Bro, we are not going to make it. We're 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 not going to make it. It's over. It's actually over. We are not going to make it. IRGC send a warning to Trump. If you attack energy infrastructure again, we will respond similarly. Next thread. Iran continues to fire split warheads towards Tel Aviv. Impacts in the center. IRGC says if attacks on energy infrastructure are repeated, subsequent attacks on your energy infra and that of your allies will not cease until complete destruction.
وقع في البلد 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 وحياة.
Did they actually hit any oil sites then? They did. They hit some infrastructure. I thought the Iran military was defeated. Me too. I'm always confused. I'm always confused whenever I hear my favorite president, Donald Trump, come out and say, like, we've accomplished all of our objectives. Iran is dead. We killed the 87-year-old leader who had cancer. Like, they're obliterated, pulverized, smoked. And I'm always like, yeah, I love my president. Obviously, he would never lie to me. So he's, it's victory. Every day he tells me it's victory. Every day I get excited all the same. It's actually pretty cool because, like, every day I get to experience the same joy of watching the mission accomplished banner get posted up. And I'm also wondering, like, because they keep saying, like, the Strait of Hormuz is actually open, and I look at it, and like the only tankers that are crossing are the Chinese ones, and I'm like, I guess it is technically open, but for China, but for nobody else. They keep unfurling the banner, and it gets me excited every day. What a treat. What a treat. It's like I feel victorious all over again every morning. But then as the day goes by and the Iranian strikes continue, I'm like, what's going on here? Like I thought it was mission accomplished, right? Where are we at? Why is the mission not fully accomplished? Because I thought it was accomplished. And then I see stuff like this breaking. A fire has erupted at Qatar's Ras Laffan refinery following an Iranian attack. I guess it kind of feels like, we're just winning over and over again. But yeah, it's great. It's great. I love winning every day. It's much cooler to win every day than to win once, to win one time, right? Like, because to win one time you're not going to feel that good. But to win every day, it feels good every single day. And I keep saying, Mr. President, I'm tired of winning. And he tells me, you're never going to get tired of winning. We're going to keep winning. I say, please, sir, no more winning. He says, we're going to keep winning.
Look at the polling data, and there are numbers that just jump off the screen at you. And this is one of those. Because just take a look here. MAGA GOP view of Trump. Approve 100. Holy Toledo. GOP view of Trump. Approve 100%. 100%. If you are a member of MAGA and the GOP, you.
Bro, even Kim Jong-un got 99.93, Technically, Trump is beating Kim Jong-un right now. He's beating Kim Jong-un.
Approve of Donald John Trump. 0% say that they disapprove. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know you can't go higher than 100%. He is the 1972 Miami Dolphins. Now, there are some Republicans who disapprove of Donald John Trump, but they are not members of the Make America Great Again movement. The bottom line is this. If you are a member of MAGA, you approve of Donald Trump.
It's interesting, though, because there have been a couple prominent people who have sort of come out online, and they're very mad.
I wonder what my Uncle Cenk has to say about this.
This war with Iran, because he promised no new wars. Is there any sign that people might be leaving MAGA relative to...
That kind of makes sense then, no? Just a silly way to present it. They're basically saying 100%. No, it doesn't. No. It doesn't, because a healthy number would still have it at like 85%, where 15% of MAGA is saying like, oh, we believe Make America Great Again meant no new wars. No, this is like unheard of. There's never an instance where the approval rating is 100% on anything.
2024.
Yeah, okay. So, I've said it before, and, the theme of this segment is Tucker Carlson be darned. And when we look at the numbers, I've heard some people say, oh, you know what, when you look at those MAGA numbers, it doesn't account for those who might have left MAGA. But take a look here. Americans who identify as MAGA, in November of 2024, it was 28% of Americans. Now it's basically the same. If anything, it's slightly higher at 30%. The bottom line is this. The MAGA base within the GOP is not shrinking. It's the same size. If anything, it is slightly larger than it was back in 2024 when, of course, Donald Trump won a second term. So that 100% that Donald Trump has approval among MAGA GOP.
Go ahead. Tell me I'm ridiculous for saying we need, rehabilitation and education, places of education. Here, I'll liberalize my language a little bit. I know that's scary for a lot of people when they hear me say this stuff. Go ahead.
That is not an artifact of MAGA shrinking. It's just an indication of how strong Donald Trump's grip is on that MAGA base.
And so I guess it begs the question, what's happening with inside the GOP and if there are any splits there, because with those kind of numbers, they're going to want to retain that, right? So they can retain their seats.
Yes. And what we're talking about, we mentioned Iran in the intro of this segment, GOP on U.S. military action in Iran. Look at this. In MAGA, it's 90% approval. It's 90% approval, just 5% disapproval. If you disapprove of the job that Donald Trump is doing, the U.S. military action in Iran, and you're a member of the GOP, look at this. It's your non-MAGA. You're non-MAGA. It's 36% there, 54% approved. But the majority of Republicans approve of the job that the U.S. military action is in Iran, and the majority of MAGA, which is the majority of the GOP, very much approve, 90%. Very little split in Donald Trump's base. Those who disapprove in the GOP, simply put, they hate MAGA.
It's really clear.
What happens to the MAGA identifying people after Trump's term is over? It's like 30% of the country at this point. Kim Jong-un approval rate. Yeah, Kim Jong-un is kind of washed, low key. Like Trump literally has better performance in his base than Kim has with his. You think the MAGA approval rate will go down if he loses his war? Serious question. Honestly, if you were to ask me a couple years ago, I would have been like, yeah, if the gas prices get too high, if American soldiers come back in flag draped coffins and stuff, I would be like, probably. But I don't know anymore. I don't know. I don't know if anything can shake their confidence. A man was killed by an apparent cluster bomb impact in central Israel following Iran's latest ballistic missile attack. Again, David Adom says it had treated the man in his 30s after he sustained critical injuries from shrapnel. His death was declared a short while later. Several apparent cluster munition impacts were reported across central Israel. It doesn't seem like Iran's capabilities have diminished.
I think Trump's doing the right thing, honestly.
Why so?
I got no comment on that.
You don't know why?
Nah, I'm just taking a guess.
You're just guessing that he's doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think Trump's doing the right thing.
Is this a joke?
What?
Is this a joke?
Yeah.
No,
it's
joke?
not. It's not.
All right, you can drive home, bro. Or walk home, sorry.
Damn, I don't know what just happened. All right.
But he doesn't even know why.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just think, like, it's not good for the economy. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
God, even the one that you expect to have like some sanity is crazy to me, bro. Is this like a bit? Is that what this is?
I don't really give a about the war. Smoke, get money. Hell yeah.
How do you feel about the
God damn, bro.
System.
Low key, this is unironically what, dude, this is the full spectrum. I'm sorry. I don't know if this is a bit. I don't know if this is a sketch or if it's sincere, but this is the spectrum of American politics. Okay? Cultist psychopath who doesn't even know why he likes Trump, but likes Trump. Democrat who doesn't know why he thinks it's bad. Okay? And the plurality that goes, whatever, get money, lamau. Like this is unironically how he hit 3 of the planks. All 3 are cattle. All 3 of them. Meanwhile, their cousins are going to get fragged with a goddamn Shahed drone in a matter of a month from now. But hey, maybe you'll get a Camaro. We are so cooked, dude. We are so unimaginably dusted, bro. You can't have a future with a country like this. You can't have a future with a citizenry that is this out of touch with the unlimited super violence that we subject the rest of the world to. The American working class straight up are so far removed from the consequences of our actions, both due to American proximity, like physical proximity to the violent incidents that we're causing everywhere, but also because of a pliant media apparatus that totally keeps people servile, totally keeps people neutral to American foreign policy, endless militarism. Part of that is because we don't have a draft. That's part of it, because a draft would universalize the pain real quick for a lot of these guys, okay? Part of it is because the American state, due to its distance, doesn't ever get impacted, rarely ever receives blowback other than like 9/11. And the other part of the reason is because like even the American economy is kept at bay from the worst kinds of impacts. The economic pressures, at least the economic pressures that Americans will feel, they feel with latency. You're kind of being a liberal right now. I'm just saying, man, it's so discouraging to see how much those in the imperial core sit around and have the capacity not to think, sit around and have the liberties not to think about like where their tax dollars are going. Here are calling for the draft. Holy shit off. I mean, might put an end to this war business very quickly, because that's part of the reason, because the people already signed up for it. It's voluntary, right? Also, it's completely outside of our control anyway. 41,713 individuals in this chat. If every single one of them demanded the draft, it wouldn't even change the reality one bit. Have Los Pollos on the stream? I would love to. He hates me.
In Iran right now in the war?
We should. We absolutely should.
We should.
We should. There's no question.
You support it.
Fully.
Tell me why.
100%. You have a very oppressive regime that is a threat to democracy around the world, and this is a group of people that were in charge that can no longer wreak havoc in the world, and I think people that are believe in a better future will be better off.
They're wreaking havoc on our economy with the Strait of Hormuz.
If that's the case, maybe there's a short-term blip for a better future.
The head of National Counterintelligence resigned today. He said that Donald Trump was led into this war unnecessarily and that he's doing this for Bibi Netanyahu. Basically, he's saying we're fighting Israel's war. Do you agree with that?
I disagree wholeheartedly. If that's his prerogative, then so be it, the person that resigned. The U.S. needs Israel. They're our first front in the Middle East.
Okay. Nah. I only hear this from... This is straight up Hasbara talking points, okay? This is straight up Hasbara talking points. Jerusalem Post columnist, dude. That's crazy.
And without Israel stopping the growth of potential terrorism in the Middle East, Europe.
This is so far removed from the average American's perspective. It's not even... This is not even close.
The United States and the broader West.
Don Lemon serving Israeli hummus.
Will eventually feel the potential consequences.
He's saying there's no imminent threat for the war, and there's no justification. There's no imminent threat to the U.S. nor Israel, and so doesn't understand why we went to do this now.
Well, I don't think there's one person that can speak for this whole country. This individual that resigned.
Well, not just him. I mean, that's what the intelligence shows as well.
You're entitled to believe that. I think if you look at who's providing greater value to the...
He's this guy, 65-year-old Israel supporter. Oh my God, I'm going to support. They're our greatest ally. Is physically incapable of recognizing his own best interests. Has never heard of the U.S.'s liberty in his life. Gives his entire pension to Israel. Unable to maintain erection unless he thinks about young men dying in the Middle East. Thinks Ben Shapiro is the smartest man in the world. We got to support them or the bad guys will come attack us. God curses those who curse Israel. Yeah, I love that one. Yeah, that's Bob. That's low-key Bob.
The world?
I understand what you're saying, but the war, if you go to war with someone, there has to be some imminent threat of attack. There was no imminent threat of an attack. And there's no intelligence that they had a nuclear weapon.
Well, you can get caught off guard all the time. I mean, look at...
yeah, this is just Mossad, okay? He might as well be interviewing Barack Unit 8200 Ravid, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Israel's the greatest nation on earth, honestly. Like, I mean, they're the front line of they're the front line of defense against radical Islam. It's great. We have to give them the billions upon billions of dollars. I mean, that's obviously what we got to do. And it's also awesome that Israel is causing the entire global energy markets to collapse, because guess what? Those guys haven't given their pensions to Israel, and therefore they're anti-Semitic.
Reason lies with...
Everything is Israel's fault. I mean, yeah. You think this is a good risk? Hey, Chatter, let me ask you something. Have you looked outside? Have you picked up a newspaper? Do you know what date it is? Because it's not 2003 right now, okay? It's Wednesday, March 18th, 2026. So this kind of argument would have been perfectly valid to make, even if there was plenty of real reason to deny Israel this unholy allegiance we have, right? Oh, I'm agreeing with you, dumbass. Oh, I thought you were doing the classic defense. Because that's like the most... This is the defense that I keep hearing from like Asmongold and shit. That claim like, oh, I guess everything's Israel's fault. Didn't realize you were being sincere. My mistake. I thought you were being sarcastic, because I hear that is like the last line of defense from people. Yeah, net favorability of Israel, all minus 14. 18 to 29, minus 27%. 30 to 44, minus 23%. 45 to 64, minus 17%. And of course, the boomer Philo-Semites minus or plus 16%. GOP minus 43%. That's insanely bad for Israel, by the way. Plus 43% is insanely bad for Israel for GOP. Okay, cult, but regardless. Independents minus 34%. Democrats minus 50%. Without you in this community, I'd probably go crazy, to be honest. Oh, Hype Train, level 1 achieved. Let's go. Rex, Racer Rex, thank you for the 20 gifted subs. They're bragging about their view count. Politico, senior White House officials say wartime messaging focuses on audience engagement with videos reaching 3 billion plus impressions in 4 days. One as we're just grinding away on banger memes. There's an entertainment factor to what we do. Oh my God. Oh my God, bro. Every day there's a new reason for a nuclear first strike on me, okay? God damn.
I'm Brian Kilme.
Seriously.
I'm Brian Kilme.
Oh my God, holy moly, we are such animals, dude. Blonde Bob, thank you for the 100 gifted subs. White House is talking about posting banger memes, bro. We are not gonna make it. We're 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 not gonna make it. It's over. It's actually over. We are not gonna make it. Look at what Abdul El Sayed posted on Insta, bro. He posted it on the Twitter too. They really got my guy Maduro locked up a few blocks from me. Hashtag free Maduro. Hashtag free Maduro.
I think they should draft 18-year-old kids and make them stay in the military.
Why? I don't think so. I don't like
so
that.
they can grow up and quit being mama babies.
There should never be a draft of any kind. It should all be free will. A draft is bullshit. No matter what country, what war, it's all bullshit. You should never force people to go fight a war that's not theirs.
Bob doesn't realize that would be the complete death of American empire. It would be the last thing that the Trump administration did. Okay, I'm not even joking. Like, the reason why America gets to do all this war waging bullshit is because there is no draft. The moment that the draft kicks in is the moment where every American goes, wait a minute, I have to die now? It's the same principle behind, like, American champions of Ukraine that are just like, yeah, keep fighting Ukraine. You're fighting for democracy. Keep going. And it's like, bro, are you going to fight for Ukraine? No. A lack of a draft allows people to feel as though they're powerful. American military is doing its force projections. It's great. You get to feel powerful at home. You don't have to hold the gun. The moment that you have to hold the gun and there's another dude holding another gun on the other side, it becomes a very different calculation for you. Part of the reason why America gets to wage wars the way that it does.
Donald Trump's kids should be on the front lines.
Yeah, could Barron get drafted?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you would be okay with Haley's son Roman being drafted, your grandchild?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Mom, would you be okay with that?
To fight for the freedom of our country? Yes.
You'd want my kids going to Iran to fight a war that Donald Trump started. You'd want my kids involuntarily on the front lines.
I didn't say on the front lines.
Dad
but
volunteered for that bullshit. My kids aren't.
For the freedom of our country?
This country. Donald Trump. Everything this government stands for. This is an embarrassment. And the fact that you would send my kids to war is disgusting.
I think it's important that Iran doesn't lose.
Wow.
I think it's important.
So you want a regime to win that has murdered hundreds of thousands of its own citizens, that denies women freedom, that kills gay people. You want them to win over American Israel. Wow.
Israel's killed hundreds of thousands of people.
No, it hasn't.
And the figures on Iran are mainly bogus. The recent massacres,
my goodness.
Some of them were genuinely killed protesters, but a lot of them were...
40,000 of them. 40,000.
It was...
No, why did you say 100,000 then?
It was 3,500.
It was 40,000, as you're well aware.
Is it okay then to kill 400,000 Iranians?
I'm not saying it's okay to kill any number of people. But you seem to think it's okay for Iran to kill 40,000 people, but you'd be the first to man the barricades and say, "Oh yeah, but Israel's killed 65,000 in Gaza, so that's terrible." But it's okay to kill 40,000 Iranians. Dear oh dear, David, grow up.
I've been a loyal supporter of the president for almost 20 years. This goes back to when I was 21 years old.
Bro, let's be real. if we were taking military action to defend people, to liberate people, we would be doing what we're doing to Iran, but to Israel, okay? Their death toll is actually in the hundreds of thousands.
And I was Miss California at the Miss USA pageant, and I've known him. I consider him a dear friend, and I will tell you right now, I do not recognize our president. I think that we are an occupied nation. I think that a foreign country has occupied our government, and we are seeing now that this president of the United States of America is being influenced by a foreign government. And MAGA, let me tell you right now, MAGA is dead. It is deader than dead, and Americans are furious. We do not recognize President Donald J. Trump anymore.
What just seems so insane based on what he ran on. I mean, this is why a lot of people feel betrayed, right? He ran on.
Joe Rogan, dude. Oh, it's just so crazy. I feel betrayed, bro.
What just seems so insane based on what he ran on. I mean, this is why a lot of people feel betrayed, right? He ran on no more wars and these stupid, senseless wars, and then we have one that we can't even really clearly define why we did it.
No American son or daughter should die for Israel. Flat out. No American son or daughter should die for Israel.
Anti-Semitic.
Goyim, stand down. Go
home. Okay, Goyim, stand down. Ugh, gross.
Home. Find the legal means to exit the military, because there are legal means you can exit the military. You can, in fact, conscientiously object to military service. Military men, in case you didn't know, swear an oath to
I swear to God, Candace Owens is the most unique person to watch, because one statement, I'm like, oh, come on, what are you doing? And then the next statement, I'm like, oh my God, she's based. Like literally, she just turned around and goes, Goyim, stand down. I'm like, oh, that's so cringe. And then she's like, but you can become a conscientious objector by following these steps. You have a legal right to object.
Defend the Constitution of the United States of America. I don't really see that happening right now. I don't even see Trump doing that. From his flagrant violations of free speech to freedom of religion, Trump recently firing Carrie Prejean Bowler from the Religious Committee because Zionists didn't like her Catholic perspectives. Can anybody at all meaningfully point out for me, which specific portion of the Constitution our commander-in-chief is currently doing a good job protecting? What is it? What you look around at? What has he done that you would be like, oh yeah, he is the person who is defending our Constitution? Better yet, show me which guaranteed constitutional right you believe that Trump will not violate for Israel.
I mean, this has created a very unique media environment where, like, it's an endless sequence of the worst person you know making good points over and over again. Like, it's kind of wild. There's literally, like, with the exception of some of the, I mean, I know what her background is. Like, I know that she's anti-Semitic because she's actually said insane stuff about Jews being contract lords, like utterly irrelevant to the main point. But I do think this is disastrous. As far as, like, on the one hand, I think about it as, like, the real problem here right now is that Israel dominates American foreign policy and also American domestic policy as well, like where they will come into elections and undermine the democratic project. And obviously, like, cutting Israel loose would be the beneficial thing in the short term. But also at the same time, I'm like on the one hand, I'm like, yeah, she's anti-Semitic. On the other hand, I'm like, well, is she, like, actually decoupling MAGA from Israel? The issue is, I don't know if she's doing that. I think what's happening is she's just making, like, liberals anti-Semitic. I worry that Tucker Carlson has a lot of normies watching, and those normies aren't MAGA. Those normies are already, like, liberals or independents, and they're watching Tucker, or they're watching Candace, and they're like, yeah, actually, it is the Jews. They are contract lords. They were already anti-Israel. Now they're, you know, moving in the other direction as well, as opposed to, like, MAGA that watches them and goes, yeah, these people are, you know, trustworthy individuals. I agree with them. I think, like, you know, I love Trump, but he really on this one. Right?
Because I feel like right now we are all being forced into the servitude of a foreign nation. That seems to be the American reality right now. So I say, by all means, allow the Mark Levins, the Ben Shapiros to sign their offspring up instead. Allow the Christian Zionists, the ones who make videos telling you how devilish it is if you don't support Israel. They believe this is messianic, that Bibi was sent to usher in Armageddon. That's going to bring Jesus back. I urge you, all of you Christian Zionists, sign up for the military today. Please.
Respectfully, Marcel, I believe it's pattern recognition. Okay, dude, do you know how many times I've heard that about black people in crime? Yeah, what do you think racism is? How do you think racism is justified and defended? Like, what do you mean? The problem in this instance is there's no, like, every Jewish institution in the country is, like, actively saying, no, we are this. We love this. Shut up. Don't talk against us. So it goes beyond, like, classic pattern recognition. It's ridiculous because at the end of the day, it's not true. No one is... no peoples are monolithic. No peoples are monolithic. It just doesn't exist, right? And Jews certainly are not a monolithic people either. Problem is, every Jewish institution creates an alternative reality where they are monolithic, and people respond to it in this way.
Please, you guys, stop tweeting. Stop screaming about Tucker Carlson. You have something much more important to do. There's a messianic mission right now. Go to Iran. Go remove the thousands of dead, innocent Palestinian children from beneath the rubble in Gaza so that Trump can build his hotel. I want you guys to be the change that you wish to see in the world. You've got this. Allow the goyim to stand down because you guys have the vision. You have the understanding. It's biblical. Go for it. You can do this without us.
We're down lower than we've been in 7 years in gasoline prices and oil prices, not just the 3 states that I talk about with $1.99 a gallon. How would you like to have $1.99? You know, that's...
Oh, yeah, would love that. A timely tweet from David Grossman, to your point. Yes, he's an anti-Semite and an asshole, but when will Jewish institutions face up to the problem of certain Jews, Netanyahu, Ackman, Dershowitz, etc., acting in ways that are consistent with anti-Semitic stereotypes and thereby extend their effectiveness? Not only that, but institutions as well. Not only like prominent Jews that are super invested in the state of Israel, but also Jewish institutions. It's ridiculous. Like every single goddamn day, there are alarm bells ringing about how much Americans don't Israel. And while that's going on, you got Jewish institutions running around, Jewish organizations, Jewish advocacy organizations running around and saying, no, you don't understand. Every Jew loves Israel. Every Jew loves Israel. You got Jewish institutions like synagogues and shit doing land fairs, selling stolen land inside of the synagogue. It's crazy.
That's the equivalent of a very major tax cut.
Welcome back. Now, that was President Trump in Pennsylvania back in December, touting low energy and gas prices. Today, the average price for a gallon of gas in Pennsylvania is $3.76, according to AAA. That's higher than last week, and it's up more than 60 cents from a month ago. NBC News senior national politics reporter John Allen has been speaking with Pennsylvania voters. He's been out
What? You have appealed to this freak and Tucker's authority for months. I'm constantly in here telling you the libs are going crazy. Please stop appealing to these racist freaks. You think I'm appealing to Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson? Do you think I'm Cenk Uygur? Do you think I'm my uncle or something? Hello? Are you okay? You're appealing to their authority on Israel? No. Were you not aware when I was talking about how devastating and dangerous it is that Democrats have actually completely lost ground on this issue of being the torch bearers of anti-Zionist thought to the likes of Candace Owens? And my real fear here is that they're not necessarily causing the MAGA base to no longer be pro-Israel, but instead they're just winning over a lot of anti-Israel people that are coming into that audience and becoming anti-Semitic and believing a whole bunch of other nonsense that they espouse. Did you just like have an aneurysm in the beginning when I clicked on a Candace Owens video and then lose sight of what I was talking about right after? Because I repeated those things just now. I was saying it back then. Did you just go, oh, Candace Owens, and you just couldn't pay attention to anything that was going on? Confirmed Trey Ying's 2 killed by Iran, 2 killed in central Israel during the last Iranian missile barrage. Cluster munitions rained down on Tel Aviv and surrounding areas. And then no answer, by the way. Comes in, drops a atom bomb, and then no answer.
On a road trip here in Millersburg, about 25 miles north of Harrisburg. He joins me now. And John, I understand you're sort of in a Trump supportive part of Pennsylvania.
You want to know the worst part?
There are a lot of those in Pennsylvania. What are you hearing?
Oh yeah, this one banged. Possible outcome for 2028. Tucker Carlson runs on an anti-Israel platform, and the Democrats put forward a pro-liberal Zionist, pro-defending America's military might candidate. Tucker Carlson wins by Ronald Reagan numbers. The Democratic Party is done. The next wave of fascism is here. That's what I'm afraid of. Tucker Carlson versus Gavin Newsom is unlimited Tucker Carlson victory. Tucker Carlson's like, you're Israel first. You're an attack dog. You're a lapdog for Israel. I can't even tell what your positions are. One day you say Israel's an apartheid. You get a boss call from all of the Israel lobbyists. And next day you come out and you say, actually, Israel's not an apartheid. Americans need someone who actually can stand on moral principles. And as a Christian, I think genocide is unconscionable. What's going on? You see, Tucker, you're being quite anti-Semitic. No, I love Jews. I love Jews. I can't stand what Israel has done to my Jewish friends. What's going on? Ronald Reagan victory condition. This is why I've been trying to urge Democrats to take a stronger stance against Israel. You cannot have a guy like Tucker Carlson lead the conversation on Israel. The Democrats, as a national party, have to universally oppose Israel. If you don't do that, a guy... I would vote for Tucker over most Dems. The way these comments are proving his point. True, Newsom can't beat Tucker Carlson, but I think AOC can. I'd rather Tucker over Newsom, actually. See? This is the danger of Tucker Carlson. This is why I think a lot of people are singularly focused on, understandably, by the way, they're focused on Israel. Okay? And whoever fills that void appropriately will win. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Democrats are delusional. A lot of Democrats don't realize that people actually with Tucker heavy, dude. And these people aren't necessarily lifelong Republicans either. I don't think Tucker Carlson is building an audience on the MAGA right. I think he's building an audience on the left. I think Tucker Carlson and all of his numbers are the normies who self-ID as liberals, are the normies who self-ID as independents. I think libs love Tucker now. That's my suspicion. Straight up. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is my theory. This is what I've been thinking about quite a bit because the numbers don't add up. Tucker Carlson has been a prominent fixture in right-wing politics forever. He was incredibly consequential in 2016. He rose to prominence and he was able to meticulously craft a palatable white supremacist narrative. He leaned into left populism, workers' rights, and things like that, knowing full well that that would beef up his support. And he did so at Fox News. He had a lot of promise in the MAGA audience. He was known as a MAGA guy. He left Fox News. And I think he still carried the torch of MAGA. But as of late, considering that the 85% of Trump supporters, 85% of Republicans believe that the war with Iran is good. War with Iran that we are waging for Israel is a good thing. I don't think Tucker Carlson has a primarily Republican audience any longer. I think Tucker Carlson now has an anti-Israel audience. And given how popular the anti-Israel position is, that audience isn't primarily Republicans at all. I think that audience has a lot of Democrats in it and a lot of centrists and liberals in it as well. In a way, he is perfectly positioned to carry the spirit of Trump 2016 for this reason. No one on the left is ready to be anti-Israel in the way that Tucker is. No one. No one on the left, as it stands currently, like some of the top leaders in the party, even the progressive figures in our party, okay, if we are to say our party about the Democrats, now that there's some candidates that we're pushing for, the only guy I can think of, and I know people are going to get pissed off for this, is Graham Plattner, ironically enough. But I don't think AOC, with the way that she talks about Israel currently, is capable of fighting back against this narrative. I think, I'm not talking about like Graham Plattner's background, chatters, calm down. I'm saying like the way he messages on this. Do you see what I mean? No, I said Graham Plattner and everybody lost their minds. I'm talking about the way Graham Plattner messages on the issue of Israel. It's no nonsense. It cuts through the noise. Take that message, take that unapologetic message, and put it into any campaign, and they will become a leader in the country. It's not about who Graham Plattner is. I'm talking about how Graham Plattner communicates on this issue of endless militarism, endless war, and how it's not beneficial for ordinary Americans. Okay? Yes, messaging and Plattner. Here we go. I said the word Graham and I said the word Plattner. I can't even say Graham Cracker in this chat without people losing their minds and putting my house coordinates on Twitter to demand Iran send a Shahed drone strike to my house. Because AOC's biggest weakness, in my opinion, and I say this as someone who is excited at the prospect of her running for the presidency, okay? Her biggest weakness is she responds to the trolls too much. She doesn't listen to people in her left flank when, you know, they have something worthy to listen to. And she also listens far too much to like identity groups that will use standpoint epistemology to like manipulate her. Like she'll come out and be like, Israel's doing a genocide. And then for the next week, she'll hear out every Jewish advocacy organization that's like, AOC, we love you. Why did you say Israel's doing a genocide? Don't you think that's a little anti-Semitic, or at least like that's opening up the floodgates of anti-Semitism? Can you go and hang out with like one of the Israeli hostage families or something? You know what I mean? Like, and then she'll do a photo op, thinking that this is gonna strike a delicate balance. Even Zoran is doing it now, which is crazy. Stand on business. People want easy to understand messages. Her future foreign policy advisor may be Professor Daniel Besner talking to Clavicular. Wait, what the Clavicular talks about the relationship between looks maxing and politics and why people connect the two together and try to diminish him as a person. Why the Clavicular talking to Dan Besner? What the hell is going on?
Frankly, I'm a bit skeptical about the relationship between looks maxing and politics. But do you think there's a relationship between looks maxing and politics?
Looks maxing is completely apolitical.
So why do you think so many people have tried to identify, so many, in particular reporters, have tried?
What is going on, dude? This timeline is busted, bro. That's awesome. What is happening, bro? Both AOC and Zoran are too kind for this moment? No, they can be mean. They just need to be principled. I don't think AOC has the ability to meet the moment. I don't mean it in a misogynistic way. She has a bit too much to worry to say the wrong thing. You've got to be principled, confident. Like Edgar Germentin was saying after the election, most important thing is confidence and competence. Yes. Zoran had that. Zoran was doing that when he was running. And then by the time the general came around, he started, falling apart a little bit on that front. I mean, he still does it. He still balances it out. For every like messaging weak moment, like messaging weakness moment that I have, he wins it back tenfold with like something that he does, right? But I do think that on this issue, you cannot engage in half measures. No like defensive, offensive weapons distinctions. You can't be running scared, because if you do that on the right, someone's going to take advantage of that weakness. And they're going to become the movement leaders. And it blows my mind. It blows my mind that Democrats are, like progressive Democrats and left flank Democrats, are not taking on leadership roles in the anti-Zionist cause.
To connect looks maxing to particularly right-wing politics, but to me, it's always been a bit of a loose connection. But why do you think people are looking to do that?
Just to kind of like, just diminish me and try to deplatform some of these ideas, because like, a lot of people don't like to acknowledge the hard truth that looks are pretty much everything. So I think like a lot of it is cope. A lot of it is people not necessarily being happy.
People there are feeling about gas prices, and are they factoring that into how they view the war in Iran?
Well, first, Kelly, I would be remiss if I did not wish Kelly O'Donnell a happy St. Patrick's Day.
Right back at
so
you, my
happy
friend.
St. Patrick's Day.
I'm genetically
I am
required
in,
to be
part
in
of
green.
Pennsylvania. And,
I'm sorry.
I can't
Go
see
ahead,
you right
John.
now,
Go
but
ahead.
I'm
You're
sure
on the
you
road
look
trip
lovely
here.
in green. Okay, so I'm in Millersburg, Pennsylvania. The reason I'm here is it's a swing district, Pennsylvania's 10th district in a swing state. President Trump won this district by about 5 points, but the local congressman, Scott Perry, is in danger of losing in the midterms. And we wanted to talk to people about their feelings about gas prices, about the war. You mentioned Pennsylvania's average gas price, about $3.76 a gallon right now. We went to like the cheapest place around, $3.54.9 a gallon here, and talk to folks. Better you hear from them than from me about how they're feeling.
Let's roll the tape.
The decision to strike Iran.
It was a great decision. I think somebody else should have done it a couple of years ago, last 3 other presidents.
Are you willing to pay higher prices at the pump if that's the cost?
Yeah, I'm willing to pay a little more, yeah.
What do you think about the war?
I think he's doing the right thing. You know, in the long run, it's going to help us out because if they get nuclear weapons, we might not even be here in a couple of years. So I think he's doing a good job.
Is it worth the rise in the price of gas?
Yeah, I think so.
What do you think about the U.S. decision to go into Iran?
I think we got to do what we got to do to keep this country safe. So, and if it means paying a little bit more in gas right now to keep everybody safe, then that's what we got to do. And eventually they'll come back down.
And Kelly, most of the people we talked to were supportive of the war and willing to pay the higher gas prices for the war. Some of them because they believe in the goals of the war, others because they trust President Trump. But not everybody felt that way, and not everybody's excited about Trump here, and not everybody's planning to vote for Republicans in the midterms who supported Trump. Let's take a listen to one more woman who we spoke with. If you could say something to President Trump and he was going to hear you right now, what would it be?
You are a worthless pile of
And you voted for him how many times?
3 times. That was my bad. Apparently, I'm an idiot.
So not
lots
everyone
of
is thrilled
personality
with
there,
President Trump,
John.
as you
Lots
heard,
of personality. Yes.
Oh my God!
Right? Not everyone's thrilled with him. That was a voter who voted for him 3 times. She went on to talk about the gas prices. She went on to talk about the war, about not supporting the idea of us, basically going around.
Look, I know it's 85%, but goddamn, does that feel good when I see that 15%? You know what I mean? I know Trump's approval for this war is 85% in the base, but goddamn, that feels good to see. When you see that 15%, you're like, man.
On the world, so a lot to process there. But this is going to be the real pressure test for President Trump and Republicans in the midterms, is how many of the people who voted for him are A, sticking with Republicans, and B, going to show up in the midterms. And I think that's still an open question here, just several months out from those midterms, Kelly.
Nothing is as valuable as actually going to where the people are and asking them what they think. So thank you for making the road trip. Fill up before you come back.
We thank you for watching, and remember.
So the other day I found out that this...
Oh, yeah, this is the Tucker Carlson meta. He believes that the CIA is listening to his... the CIA is collecting his text messages. He is an immoral person. He's a bad person. He's not even a contrarian. The reality of the matter is the market demands someone who is a stupid little grifter. By the way, this has been pretty funny. Speaking of people who are also dogs for the Israeli state and for Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is a dog of Israel as well. Asmin grift, Asmin cattle, Asmin goy, Asmin whatever you want to call it, right? Israel's strongest soldier is back at it again. Now, this is pretty undeniable, but it's cool because, here's Asmongold saying in 2024, Israel's wars are not our wars. In 2025 saying, I don't support bombing Iran. And in 2026 saying, this is awesome. Iran needs to be bombed more. I replied with a photo of a shock collar with the Israeli flag on the side of it saying Asmin grift. And all the based right-wing guys have to still, they're in this weird predicament now where they have to defend Asmongold and they have to shit on me, But Asmongold is defending Israel. So they're like, he found the collar image from his past Amazon orders. And it's not working because even people on even people in the replies are like, well, Asmongold is he's inconsistent on this. So even people on the right who are supposed to be like based and edgy recognize that they can't like defend Israel and they can't defend Asmongold defending Israel and Israel's interests. And this is what happens when you are actually consistent and not like an inconsistent grifter. Here's the new rendition of that. What is this? Ugh, God, that photo is so awful.
Israel's wars are not our wars. True. Oh my God. I think that we play too big of a role in other countries' military shit. Like, we're too interventionary. We get too involved into other people's business. It's a waste of our money. The people there probably hate us. Where's really the upside here, right? I think that the level that we try to play nation building, especially in places like this, like Libya, for example, back in the day, or Iraq. No, absolutely not. Yeah, it's too much, man.
We're not going to have World War III, but I will prevent World.
In my opinion, keeping us out of World War III means not sending over bombs and starting wars in the Middle East. Like, that's just me. I also wouldn't support any sort of collateral damage, bombing things like the U.S. bombing things that are inside of urban areas. I don't support any sort of boots on the ground. I don't support I don't even support the U.S. like going directly to war with Iran's military. I think any further military intervention stands to alienate the Iranian people, and it stands to destabilize the country. And you can see how CNN passively manufactures consent to bomb Iran by assuming that Iran is attacking civilian places only. Like, for example, one of the biggest military installations inside of Israel is in the middle of the city. And do you guys see how the media is pushing the war by saying that Iran is this existential threat and we need to fight for America? This is upsetting for me. Big deal. If this was the U.S. bombing Iran, I'd be saying, I am so happy this has happened. I am just dramatically, tremendously happy this has happened. I was a big supporter of us bombing them before, and now we're bombing them again, and this is just amazing.
This is an operation against the world's largest sponsor of terror.
That's right. This is amazing. Every third world shithole that promotes these terrorist ideologies, death cult religion, is getting demolished. Oh, a school got bombed? It's collateral damage in a war, and it's inevitable, number one. And number two, if they didn't want that to happen, maybe they shouldn't have been funding terror groups and antagonizing a world superpower like America.
Based.
Man, how about that? This is great.
I straight up, if I had to sit there and watch like the ugliest, silliest White House clip compilations and sit there and act like this is like super cool, I would probably. I'm
Brian Kilmeade.
Okay. Like, yeah, these videos, they're so base, right? I mean, they're base, right, guys? How about that? Yeah.
Great.
Anyway, he made a response to this video. Yeah, what is it? Is it him going, yeah, you guys are Israel obsessed. You got to stop. Yeah. There is no response to this. Right? There is no response to this because it's so transparent what is going on, right? It's so obvious what's going on. He is just regurgitating whatever Trump is saying because he doesn't have any real opinions, right?
Basically, my dad brought me up. The only outcome is winning. Only win. It doesn't matter what it takes. It doesn't matter what you have to do. You can lie, cheat, steal, do anything you want as long as you win. And that's it. And that explains it. It does.
He doesn't have any real opinions at all. He's just, when Trump is saying no war, just peace.
Not war, not war, not war, just peace.
When Trump is like that, he's saying the same, right? When Trump turns around and bombs Iran, and then he's also in favor of bombing Iran. It's that simple. It's that simple. No convictions whatsoever, but also no ability to read the room either. right? Because like there are right-wing content creators and even people in the cabinet, like JD Vance, has a better understanding of where things are going. And therefore, JD Vance is trying to like avoid being seen as being responsible for this war, right? Like he's already throwing out his frustrations with like going to war with Iran and blah blah blah. All this like there's already been like Politico coverage on this. Tucker Carlson has dropped the administration on this issue. Megyn Kelly has dropped the administration on this issue. Like there are a lot of people that recognize how unpopular this is going to be. It's already unpopular and it's going to be even more unpopular, right? And Asmongold doesn't realize any of that because he doesn't have the knowledge. He doesn't have the wherewithal. He doesn't have the ability to read the room. He's just responding to the administration and like regurgitating propaganda coming from the admin and trying to appeal to the lowest common denominator. He's just a dumb rat, exactly. And that's it. If you take him seriously, if you consider him to be like a serious thinker, you're an idiot. You're basically exposing yourself, and I will continue laughing at you forever. He's really just doing the opposite of what you do. That's his doctrine. No, it's not necessarily the opposite, because there are instances where we find ourselves in agreement. The reason why is because there are certain things that Trump says about like non-interventionism, for example, that almost lean into my side of politics, right? And when Trump is saying he's not an interventionist and Asmongold is saying he's not an interventionist because Trump is saying it, then all of a sudden it comes across like we are in agreement with one another. But it's simple. He just doesn't, he is an immoral person. He's a bad person.
Because I know that the way that I look at things is insane to most other people. My solutions to problems are oftentimes so extreme and so immoral and, like inhumane that people, like, because I don't really see people as people in a lot of cases. I just see them as like an object or a functionary tool. Like I have a very different perspective on the way that I see things in the world. You think about killing random people? Yeah, all the time. Oh, constantly. All the time. Yeah, if somebody makes me mad or something like that, yeah, of course. I could not drive down the road without thinking about every pedestrian and if I could over or not. For like 3 months. I was going in on this because I spent so much time with people over on Call of Duty. It's the call of the void. You're describing psychopathy? Well, either way, I don't let things like this affect me at all or bother me.
He's not even a contrarian. He's a bad person. He's not very intelligent. And the reality of the matter is the market demands someone who is a stupid little grifter. So that's part of the reason why he still sees a decent amount of success. It's that simple. That's it. Many people are grifters. Many people are bad faith. Many people are immoral. But you can still be a grifter and land on the right side of issues because you read the room better, right? Asmongold doesn't. I think he's not even banking on the inability of the right to punish him later down the line for his advocacy in going to war with Iran at the behest of Israel. He's just farming, and he's pretty open about it too. He just straight up says it. It's not like he hides it. He openly says he is farming, and people don't necessarily care. If enough people do that and then the administration sees this as an exit ramp, then I'll take it. Make no mistake, I 100% believe that the American government is absolutely responsible for this, but any sort of separation from Israel, no matter how it happens, is good. Anti-war anti-Semitism is still anti-Semitism. I know. We have a new version of anti-Semitism that just dropped, which is when you repeat basically what Marco Rubio and Donald Trump has said. Okay, it's no longer allowed. As I said earlier today, reiterating the point that someone else was making, is if you say we're going to war for Israel, we're going to war with Iran for Israel, and that's good, not anti-Semitism. If you say we're going to war with Iran for Israel and that's bad, that's anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism of the highest order. Okay?
We just learned, get this, the director of the National Counterterrorism Center, Joe Kent, has just announced he's resigning. CNN national security reporter Zachary Cohn is joining us right now. Zachary, what more can you tell us about this dramatic development?
Yeah, Wolf, this appears to be a significant resignation at the senior-most levels of the Trump intelligence community. This is Joe Kent. He was the director of the National Counterterrorism Center.
And we're talking about Joe Kent. Head of U.S. Counterterrorism Center announces his resignation. And he is in the most like American version of events, most like post-MAGA America version of events. He already did an interview with Tucker Carlson. That interview is coming. And he also released a statement on Twitter. PSL 6 Mogger. I mean, he's not a good guy, by the way. Joe Kent is not a good person. I need you guys to understand. Like, he is literally Trump's U.S. counterterrorism lead, okay? He's not a good person at all. But even a bad person can still recognize the writing on the wall and decide to take a stance against it. So when all these people are like going through the background of Joe Kent and they talk about his anti-Semitism, just remember that they didn't have this kind of issue about Joe Kent when Trump literally hired a white nationalist, okay? He's a literal apologist. How are people falling for this stuff? Because it is not pertinent to his decision at the moment. Okay? Like, that's the reason. This is no different than the Candace Owens situation. Just as Ben Shapiro knew Candace Owens was anti-Semitic and did not care about it as long as she was pro-Israel, it only became an issue when Candace Owens became anti-Israel. And the same goes for Joe Kent. Do you understand? I can't comprehend how I just don't understand how people have a hard time understanding this. Like, it is always surprising when people still fall for this bullshit.
He appearing to post on X a resignation letter that he submitted, citing misgivings over the Trump administration's decision to launch its war with Iran. Now, Kent, in this letter, writes in part, quote, as a veteran who deployed to combat 11 times and as a Gold Star husband who lost my beloved wife, Shannon, in a war manufactured by Israel, I cannot support sending the next generation off to fight and die in a war that serves no benefit to the American people, nor justifies the cost of American lives. Now, Kent, in his apparent post on X, does also seem to suggest that there was no imminent threat, that it has been used and cited by the Trump administration as justification.
So is this significant? Yes, it really up. This is genuinely a huge deal, and it certainly has rattled the administration a little bit too. A high-profile administration figure like this quitting their job and releasing the reasons as to why they quit their job, and directly betraying the administration's half-hearted propaganda on why we have to wage war with Iran is huge. It's a huge deal.
Launching this war against Iran, he says that essentially the administration manufactured this idea of an imminent threat, and that is part of the reason why he is deciding to resign from his post today.
Let me read a little bit from this letter that he wrote to President Trump. This is Joe.
Does anyone have the... Oh, yeah, here it is. No, not this. Where is Joe Kent's actual letter? Hold on. He said, 9 hours ago, after much reflection, I've decided to resign from my position as director of the National Counterterrorism Center, effective today. And by the way, this is the highest ranking official that left the administration, as opposed to the Biden admin, where there were lower ranking officials that had left the admin in response to our unlimited loyalty to Israel, as Israel was committing a genocide, but nowhere near to this degree. Okay? Yeah, this guy's been directly involved in and responsible for overseeing some of the worst covert war crimes the U.S. has committed in the Middle East in the global war on terror. And apparently this Iran war was too much for him too. His political views are irrelevant in the circumstances. Someone with his creds resigning is unthinkable. Okay? It just doesn't happen. Like retired Green Beret combat veteran who has a very, I mean, this is a very well-credentialed psychopath, okay? After a lifetime of service at the Imperial Death Machine, including running kill squads for the CIA Special Activities Center and defending Eddie Gallagher, Joe Kent suddenly decides his decades of sanctioned murder was on behalf of Israel bad, rather than the U.S. good. Whether it's because he wants to preserve his, whether he wants to basically preserve his legacy in some weird, twisted way, or whether he just sees the writing on the wall, it doesn't matter. The impact is still the same. Here's what he said. with the Director of National Intelligence, National Counterterrorism Center letterhead. Okay, Joseph Kent, the director of the National Counterterrorism Center. Okay, the guy responsible for counterterrorism in the United States of America. President Trump, after much reflection, I have decided to resign from my position as the director of the National Counterterrorism Center effective today. I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. I support the values and the foreign policies that you campaigned on in 2016, 2020, and 2024, which you enacted in your first term. Until June of 2025, you understood that the wars in the Middle East were a trap that robbed America of the precious lives of our patriots, that depleted the wealth and prosperity of our nation. In your first administration, you understood better than any modern president how to decisively apply military power without getting us drawn into never-ending wars. You demonstrated this by killing Qasem Soleimani and by defeating ISIS, which, ironically enough, the Qasem Soleimani thing was also something that Israel wanted to do, which is why it's crazy that he's literally glazing that decision. So it seems like he has some appetite for America maneuvering in a way that benefits Israel's ambitions in the region. You know, this is a bridge too far for him. Early in this administration, high-ranking Israeli officials and influential members of the American media deployed a misinformation campaign that wholly undermined your America First platform and sowed pro-war sentiments to encourage a war in Iran. This echo chamber was used to deceive you into believing that Iran posed an imminent threat to the United States and that you should strike now. There was a clear path to a swift victory. This is all 100% correct, by the way. Everything that this Hitlerite, psychopathic Green Beret is saying is 100% correct. Literally, no notes, except for the Qasem Soleimani shit, obviously, he's for that. But no notes, 100% correct. Okay, that is exactly what happened. It's not, you don't even need insider knowledge, which he very clearly has, right? But like what he is saying here is just another confirmation of the things that Lindsey Graham has said, the things that Marco Rubio has said, the things that Donald Trump has said. This was a lie and is the same tactic the Israelis used to draw us into the disastrous Iraq war, which, by the way, again, a little bit of copium there, okay? At that point, the Iraq war was absolutely a belligerent decision by the American government that, well, I wouldn't even say belligerent decision. It was a long-standing position of many financial interests in Iraq that materialized with a Dick Cheney leadership. But, you know, Israel goading America into going to war with Iraq certainly was beneficial in whipping up the votes for it. But Israel wasn't the singular reason why we went to Iraq, just so you understand. Okay? I hope you understand. There's a difference between America's decisions in Iraq and the American decisions with Iran, okay? This was a lie and is the same tactic Israel uses to draw us in the war with Iraq and cost our nation the lives of thousands of our best men and women. We cannot make this mistake again. Oh my God, this is literally, I'm just realizing this is like stabbed in the back. Except this time there is like a real, reason for why. Like there is a legitimate reason as to why you can say this about Iran. With Iraq, not as much. But it doesn't matter. We're reflecting on the failed military campaign of Iraq and saying, oh, we did it because the Jews, and they stabbed us in the back. It's kind of crazy. This guy literally participated in that, by the way. As a veteran who deployed to combat 11 times and as a Gold Star husband who lost my beloved wife Shannon in a war manufactured by Israel, I cannot support sending the next generation off to fight and die in a war that serves no benefit to the American people nor justifies the cost of American lives. I pray that you will reflect upon what we are doing in Iran and who we are doing it for. The time for bold action is now. You can reverse course and chart a new path for our nation, or you can allow us to slip further towards decline and chaos. You hold the cards. It was an honor to serve in your administration and to serve our great nation. Yeah, I mean, he is demonic. Trump is the well-meaning Kaiser who was tricked by the perfidious international capital and insert institution with alleged Jewish control. I mean, he's not a well-meaning Kaiser at all, obviously. Like, I see the analog here, right? He's a psychopath himself. But one can also have the ambition and still be totally convinced by the Israeli state, as he has, right? That is the reality. Well, I guess the Kaiser wasn't either. It's true. But like, both of these things are correct. Trump is dumb enough to think that, you know, this would go well for him. Do I think that this is totally self-serving from Joe Kent's perspective? Possibly. Does it matter? Absolutely not. Okay. Chatter said Jewish control. Come on, bro. No, he's making an analog to stabbed in the back. That's what he's saying. He's saying this is just like Nazi Germany. Hello. Do you not understand? It's an analogy. But this time, instead of saying insert institution with alleged Jewish control, instead of just directly saying it was the Jews, he's saying the modern version of the same exact myth, the modern version of the same exact myth is being redeployed right now. Kent, America First for Congress. Joe Kent's statement on support for Israel and opposition to anti-Semitism. Israel, a mutually beneficial ally and a close friend. I am intimately familiar with the help that Israel has provided the United States during my military service in the Middle East. My fellow soldiers and I often relied on intelligence provided by the IDF and their intelligence agencies to help accomplish our mission and keep us alive. The United States and Israel share common enemies in the Middle East, from terrorist groups like Hamas and Hezbollah to the totalitarian government of Iran. Building close economic, diplomatic, and military relations in the United States' best interest and something I will advocate for as a member of Congress. Again, it doesn't matter what he said in the past about Jews or whatever. What he cares about, and he has also defended Israel again. Marie voted against supporting Israel because the funds would be taken from Biden's IRS. Marie's priority is the IRS tracking your Venmo transactions, not defending Israel and recovering American hostages. She also voted to leave our troops under fire by Iran and Iraq and Syria. Notice how all of a sudden everyone's like, wow, you're real anti-Semite, huh? This is really how anti-Semitic you are. He was like straight up a groiper, but it doesn't matter because when he was a straight up groiper, it didn't even matter. Also in 2022, Kent was drawn into a dispute with the groipers around the Israel question as well as white identity politics, which back then was still controversial in the mainstream right. He disavowed Fuentes while also appearing on a groiper adjacent stream to debate them, which was an unusual step for an aspiring politician, even in MAGA hard right, and signaled that groiper politics were beginning their inexorable creep into conservative respectability. That was one midterm ago. In just 4 years, enough space has opened up on the fascist right for Joe Kent to flip on Israel in the groipers' direction and for Nick Fuentes to be courted by Tucker Carlson. This was his Israel position paper shared with AIPAC during a failed 2022 House bid. Kent said he was intimately familiar with the help that Israel had provided the United States, and two countries share common enemies in the Middle East and the totalitarian government of Iran. By the way, Jewish Insider and AIPAC, like all of these institutions just straight up are information sharing all the time. I'm sorry, it's very hard to see this as anything but like a foreign espionage operation. Like it's crazy. Oh, all of a sudden the AIPAC, the AIPAC position papers materialize out of thin air the moment that Joe Kent comes out and says this is a war we're waging at the behest of Israel and it's unacceptable. I mean, he just took the position that the half-hog libertarians have been on for months. Maybe he watches Tim Dillon. No, this is an indefensible position. America has openly stated that they're waging war on Iran at the behest of Israel. It is an indefensible position. Anyone with 3.5 working brain cells can recognize that it's an indefensible position. If you want, whether you want to like preserve American military superiority because things are also not going well on the military campaign side, or whether because you have ambitions of higher office later down the line, you recognize that this is completely untenable. It's an indefensible position. So you're just pulling the ripcord out as quickly as possible. Anyone that actually turns around and talks about Joe Kent being a asshole for this or being anti-Semitic for this is also not reading the goddamn room or a psychopathic Israel first dip right on cue. Wait, what is this? This is not everyone but Shapiro, apparently. Where's Josh Shapiro? Where's the Josh Shapiro element here? Why are you linking me this thing? My bad here, Ben Shapiro. Oh, Ben Shapiro is probably losing his mind.
Morning, Joe Kent quit his job at the National Counterterrorism Center.
I mean, he is literally, Ben Shapiro is the perfect guy to go to whenever shit like this happens, just so you know the wrong opinion, you know what I mean?
And issued a scathing letter designed to undermine President Trump. The letter is deeply, deeply conspiratorial. It states openly that, quote, Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. And it is...
Guys, the conspiracy is literally something that Lindsey Graham, Marco Rubio, Donald Trump, and virtually every Democratic Party official that has been in these closed-door meetings has openly stated out loud, okay? You can't say it's a conspiracy at that